It's inclusion request.
Yeah. We're only 2 pages in, so.
Okay.
I don't know. Yeah. Don't know what to say. Just do it. If we're not gonna, if we're gonna wait for them, then we'll just cancel the meeting because I'm not gonna sit here. When it's supposed to start, there's your bell. What do you wanna do?
My concern is Tina definitely has the strongest feelings about it.
Okay,
So we're-
She's gonna, and there are some things I don't necessarily either agree or I wanna
we'll have to
explain.
talk about it here. Here we go. Shane, I'm gonna start the meeting. We can discuss what we wanna do from there, but legally. How long you wanna wait? I mean, what's the rules?
It's a quorum.
We have a forum.
Yeah, we have a quorum. So
I'll ask city council what they wanna do after the quorum. I call this meeting city council special session for June 22nd, 2026. I ask, you rise with me to pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. Pledge allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Cheers. Miss Beck, would you please call roll?
Moore is not present. Wilmot,
Present.
Knoctraub,
Present.
Walker is not present. Murphy.
Present. We have a quorum. Anything you wish to say, council? Remember, Mr. Knobtrop,
Is this about the agenda or general, anything
this is
about the
the
agenda?
agenda.
So, Tina put through a lot of effort in this, as so did I, and there was different points of this that I wanted to have discussion with her because she seems to be the most active. So one of my concerns is if we proceed, great, but if there's some things that
So we're gonna have to repeat it.
that we're gonna have to repeat it, do we?
So what are you suggesting?
And one option is take a 10-minute recess.
Did you touch them?
She's on her way,
Which one?
Tina.
I'll entertain any kind of motion you guys wanna make. Otherwise we proceed or then we cancel.
I
Your
move that we
choices.
take a 10-minute intermission here, recess until Ms. Demore appears.
We'll just sit and everything's on, so.
I have a motion.
we don't need-
I'll support that. I just hope we aren't here for 3 hours.
A motion, I have a second. Can you clarify how long we'll wait?
10 minutes, I said.
Okay. I go to Ms. Beck for roll. You go to me.
Wilmot,
Aye.
Knoctraub,
Aye.
and Murphy.
Aye. We have till 5:12. If we need another motion, we can have it.
Most of my, are you muting?
You can't
No.
really discuss this at all.
Not muting, no, I'm just,
We can't sit here and really discuss this right now at all. Appropriately, I don't think so. Yeah, you know. There's 3 of us here, so therefore it presents a quorum. And if we start discussing this, boy, we have a timeout. I don't think that's good. So,
So who's the guy next to Ted Paul up there?
Not
To the right.
Fraser, to the left.
Dale Meyer.
Gail Meyer.
Oh, okay, sure it is. It's just he looks younger. Okay, and who's the guy to the left of Dale Meyer?
Jeremy Wills.
Wills.
Is he around?
You know, look at Orange City, is the dentist on State and State Street in Emmett
Hmm.
for many years. With the big, now blue house, I believe.
How's Bill Fraser doing these days?
He's doing fine. It was.
Yeah, we just saw him the other night
At the,
passenger pigeon.
yeah,
How's his wife doing?
I don't, his wife.
No, they're not
You mean
married.
Bobby?
Yeah,
He's divorced.
Yeah.
Becky?
the one that had dementia.
Oh, that was Bobby.
She's been gone.
A few years now,
5 years.
right?
Oh,
Yeah, his significant other is Becky Goodman, who used to be the downtown manager here, and it's the downtown manager at Harbor Springs.
Oh,
She actually took a picture of Mr. Frazier, Mr. Myers and myself.
Yeah,
And
'cause I didn't hear
that's
that.
the pigeon that. So order city council meeting. Okay.
Yeah, I didn't, I just, yep.
Shane
we're-
Speaker from Lindsay?
I have not. I did text her. Haven't seen any response.
Okay. We're on policy meeting preparations and procedures. I'll turn it over to city manager Horn to continue the discussion. It's been on for the last 9 months.
This just picking up where we left off. We left off on page of your packet. If you go by the packet, it's page 7. If you go by the actual document, it's be page 3 under inclusion requests. If you want to pick it up from there, Mayor.
is the yellow,
Inclusion request, members of the city council, there's a 11 and a 12.
So I think
can I ask a question?
page 7.
Page 7, okay.
Inclusion requests.
Is the yellow highlighted is what? When I see the yellow highlight on numbered footnotes and crossing out. Is that something we already agreed to?
Joe, that's my editing method and I highlight the footnotes just so people could find them.
So it was in Demore comments, it was black, so I didn't know that. So the Demore comments is actually all in yellow.
Under 11 and 12,
Reference it to her footnotes.
Yeah, no,
since moving the item forward would require a motion and a second, I'd suggest that we consider this same be required to place an item on the agenda. 2 of the 5 council persons support the agenda addition. Mr. Wilmot said, I don't see the need for this. And Mr. Knobtrap said, open for discussion. I'm generally okay with wording. Mayor should set agenda. Here's the problem. What, we gotta figure, we're not the ones here right now. There's somebody else here. Who do we really want to trust to set the agendas? Is it 1 or 2 people? And while I think the mayor with city manager sets the agenda at this point, there has been some times when people have wanted to add stuff to the agenda. If, let's say the mayor says no, and the city council person, ward rep says, yes, I want this on the agenda. It becomes a little push and tug of should it go or not. If we had 2 people that would approve that, I think it would ensure that the city mayor is not totally running the show.
And it would also ensure that one member with some respectfully harebrained idea can't get it on the agenda if a second person wouldn't support it, because they would need that anyway to move it forward. And the other reason I raise this is it concerns me that it says others. Well, who are these others? I mean, the way this is written, somebody in the community could pick up the phone and call the city manager and say, I want to have whatever.
And if the city manager agrees with it, what's the problem?
Well, because in all things, the whole purpose of this is to have a framework for a process. And I think city manager can speak for himself, but the whole point is to say, to give him something to rely on to be able to say, whatever the criteria is.
So following that through, pardon me, I don't mean to interrupt, but following that through, if somebody calls with a good idea for an agenda item to the city manager can't put it on the agenda until he brings it before city council and gets a motion and then a second?
No, these are 2 separate things we're talking about. There's 2 provisions here.
I would expect that the city manager would contact the mayor and say, hey, mayor, do you think we should put this on the agenda or not? If I were to say, sure, we put it on, but if you would like this audience person calling in to at least have it where more than just 1 person on city council being the mayor has the authority to just start junking this agenda up with all sorts of items that are just going to be useless time.
Footnote 12, sounds like we're all in agreement, or we not, I kind of agree that others it shouldn't just be carte blanche. I agree with Tina on that.
Oh, for sure.
On 11, historically, I've always felt that the mayor and the city manager should set the agenda. However, I also see the real benefit of having others involved in the agenda. And I'm going to bring up a subject that I brought up a few times based on the meetings before, and I've talked to Shane about, is on the last, and this, I don't mean to be controversial. This is more of a point of order, so to speak, on our process. At the one council meeting, this is on bikes, and I don't want to debate, I'm not trying to debate bikes. But we as a council voted 3-1, Lindsay wasn't here, to have input from Parks and Recreation and the Downtown Management Board. And which was fine, we did it when we came out with the agenda and we got the feedback. on it. The agenda merely had the feedback and then it had the reading, we didn't have any opportunity to really bring into the feedback, just had the new ordinance. And then what I was told is that we didn't do it because you had the votes to go ahead and pass it as is without any other alternative language. So my point is, I don't want to get into the debate of bicycling.
Yeah.
But I am trying to understand that if things are on the agenda, that there probably ought to be a little bit more involved than just the city manager and the mayor. And I like the added input.
I am saying that normally for that regular agenda, this is the city manager and the mayor's working together. In the event that a council person wishes to add an agenda, he would contact either myself or city manager for us to discuss that, to put it on the agenda.
I'm generally okay with that. I am generally okay with that.
Or at the table.
There you have two.
You
Although
could,
what happens if you put something on the agenda, there's three of us don't want to do?
Then it
We
doesn't.
need to have it modified. or
That doesn't-
something
We get a
like that
chance to say no at the time it comes up on the meeting.
on the agenda.
Mhm.
So if the mayor and the Shane decide this is what we're gonna put on the agenda, and then Tina and Charlie have something else that they wanted to, and you just said no, because it's not appropriate.
If there were two of them, then I would, even if I disagreed, I'd go with it.
that's why this should be here.
If two of you bring something, one of you brings something forward and I disagree, I will still talk to the city manager. He will send something out to the rest of the council people, the other three, and ask for some feedback on it. Is that correct?
Actually, what I would likely do is go back to the person who petitioned for that item and say, I need you to go back and amongst your colleagues, I need to hear from one other council member.
Yes.
When I hear that, then I know that I'm good to proceed.
Because you know you got three people, or you know you
Or
got.
two.
We're just talking two.
And he'd call me and say, hey, here's the change on the agenda, we are putting this on, and I'll say, great, because if there's a push for it, let's put it on. But we're trying to eliminate Joe Schmo continuing to bring up the same thing to have in the agenda that has been turned down.
Yep, I agree with that.
And the other reason you want two instead of three is three would be a violation of the Open Meetings Act. Because then there would be a majority that have decided something.
So what you're suggesting here is on 11,
Read it.
2 members of the city council may request the city manager to include items on the agendas. That just solves 11 if we write it that way.
Yeah.
But the and other part is still,
deleted.
Yeah.
Or not deleted.
Deleted,
Cross it off.
just cross out and others.
Are you okay with that, Charlie?
Yeah, I'm fine with that. With the thing that's throwing me off is I thought you had suggested it be requiring a motion in a second, and it's much less formal than that.
yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
I agree with the much less formal.
I do too.
Just to get.
Motion in the second would tie things up.
2 members of
Oh,
the city
then it
council.
takes- It would, then it delays
never
that
get it.
person.
We never get an
2-week
agenda.
Period, you know.
Well, a motion would require 3 votes, and again, in this context, that'd be a violation of the Open Meetings Act. I mean,
Unless it
Because-
was done at council.
correct.
But you can always do that at council, I suppose, when you're in session, you can always amend the agenda.
So have we taken care of this part of it?
So I'm wondering if we need to add, say, 2 members of the city council and the mayor.
Then that'd be 3.
Sorry.
The mayor,
be-
May request that the city manager and mayor include.
Well,
Because
this is interesting though, because, and this is not an objection to you, what you guys are doing right now.
No.
But I looked at the charter and I don't see where it says this. Do you know, does it say it someplace?
Should I
Because-
just bring the charter?
Here it is.
I got it.
Because if it
What
isn't
does
in
it say?
there, then we do need to, well, doesn't say anything about this that I could see. It just says, wait a minute, here's the part. Here, this is your part about duties of the mayor right there. And I didn't see anything in here about the agenda. So I think you're right, that if the process that we're following has been that the mayor and the city manager are doing this, that needs to be in here too.
I would agree with that. And if two of the other councils members want to add something to the agenda, they need just.
That's kind of another
Doesn't
thing.
say agenda at all.
I don't see it in there. I did not have it electronically though, so I couldn't search for the word. Do you, Sarah?
I'm looking at it right
Oh,
now.
good, thanks.
Yeah, I have it. It doesn't say agenda, but I think that's the past practice
Yeah,
historically.
and that's fine, but then we better put it in here because it's not in the,
Okay,
so let's see what this says. Let's look at agenda preparation. Does it say anything like that?
Say 2 members of city council board, the mayor.
City manager. That's preparing them.
The way, yeah, I think the way we've been doing it is very effective. Otherwise, we're coming back into.
Okay, so
council
hold on
meetings.
then, hold on.
I think you're right, John. I think it's.
We're delaying people, the process of getting, of moving things on. Because now it could be 2 weeks to a month after we vote, oh yes, let's put it on the agenda. Now, two weeks to a month later, they get it on the agenda, and second reading, and it could be a month and a half before they got their things done.
So how about something like this? How about a first sentence? I'm just winging it right now, but so inclusion requests. The mayor and city manager will collaborate to establish the agendas of regular meetings, something like that. Then it could say 2 members of the city council may request the city manager. Would something like that
We
work?
can request special agenda items.
Two other.
No, it will just continue to read the way it is there.
Two other city council, John is not one of them, right?
Well, when you say city council member,
Be one of them.
No, I could be one of them, so I think it is.
But then it could be that if Tina and John get together, it goes on the agenda.
Yeah.
So I thought it was, we needed 2 others.
No, it could be, because he gets.
Oh,
if
because
you-
he has to agree. If you take the rogue person who's bringing up the same old stuff over and over again, he can still reject it.
so if he agrees with the one member, then
Then
it
it-
goes on the agenda. If 2 others want it on the agenda and he doesn't agree, you still have your 2.
It still goes on.
That's what it says. I agree with that.
Yeah, that's what, and because if you read the charter, the mayor has like certain special responsibilities, but he only gets 1 vote like everybody else. He can't veto anything or anything like that. So it is right that if he and you agreed to put something on the agenda, that would count. But anyway, let's see. Collaborate to establish the-
On the 13th.
And Laura's gonna look at all this.
I didn't get what you mentioned, so. if
I'm
you-
still working on it, right here, right. So collaborate to establish the.
We're gonna have the attorney spend money on reviewing this too.
She's already reviewed it, but
She's already found it.
any changes the whole thing would be reviewed.
These are guidelines. We don't really need her to.
Yeah, we do. It's a policy. Absolutely. The policy is the work that we do, having her look at this. I mean, look, this one's from 2015, isn't it?
11, maybe 12.
Long time.
Well, so, anyway, doesn't matter.
So
We're on agenda availability now.
We're still on inclusion requests.
Some 12. So we have reviewed some of this.
Yeah.
Oh, dear.
So the mayor and city manager, this is just an idea, will collaborate to establish meeting agendas. 2 members of the city council may request the city manager to include items on the agenda of regular meetings. What's the rest of this say? Of the city council for and upon which? I don't know why it needs to say all that, but the mayor and city manager will collaborate to establish meeting agendas, period. 2 members of the city council may request the city manager to include items on the agenda of regular meetings of the city council. Do we need the rest of this?
No, you don't
For
need
and
the rest of
upon
that
which the city council,
No, you don't need the rest of that sentence.
I don't think you do either.
City manager cannot include items for grant request.
Yeah, the rest of it's fine.
So inclusion requests, period. The mayor and city manager will collaborate to establish meeting agendas, period. That's new. And then 2 members of the city council may request the city manager to include items on the agendas of regular meetings of the city council,
But I have a question.
period, or are you guys having the entire rest of the?
Period, and then you begin items for inclusion.
So what about special sessions though? Because the first sentence I drafted just says meeting agendas. It doesn't say regular but the second sentence says regular meetings. Then it goes on to talk about special session meetings. And it doesn't say anything about,
What, it says, there's this, the same rule applies to both, doesn't it?
I mean, you just change on the agendas of regular and special meetings.
Item for inclusion on the agenda of the special meeting for the city council shall only be those for which the such special meeting is specifically scheduled. So it can only be for the subject, like tonight, we can't add something else.
Right.
We couldn't have added something else to the agenda other than what was the special
Right.
agenda.
so,
But when the meeting is created,
yeah,
if two people want, if two.
But we can do that anytime.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
okay,
So that's.
well,
Really no reason to differentiate between special meetings and regular meetings in this case.
Well, it
So-
seems to me that if a special meeting is called for whatever subject is, I think the point ought to be that we can't add other things to the agenda.
Later on.
okay, but here's the thing we're sussing out right now. The first sentence about the mayor and city manager will collaborate to establish meeting agendas. Should the second sentence omit regular meetings? Where it's 2 members, should it just say 2 members of city council may request the city manager to include items on the agenda of meetings of the city
Sure.
council?
Sure.
What are you saying about special meetings, special session meetings?
Well, the first sentence is allowing the mayor and the city manager to collaborate to establish meeting agendas, generally speaking, which would include general
include?
and special,
Okay.
regular and special. As written right now, the second sentence is only allowing the 2-member situation to happen for regular meetings. So the question is, should we take regular out there? So the first 2 sentences are basically saying, for any meeting, you can have the mayor and the city manager collaborating or 2 members of the city council.
I'm fine with that too.
Do you have thoughts?
No, that's fine.
Okay, so we take regular out. Hopefully
One thing we did in the community I came from, we allowed something very similar, and on the agenda itself, the agenda item would be the title, and then it would be sponsored by Councilmember Wilmot. If he was championing something on the agenda, we would have him listed as the sponsor. We don't have to do that, but just so people knew where it was coming from. Just FYI.
Does that go for everything then, or just something with that?
I think, well, I mean, there's a lot of routine on the agenda, as you know, like staff initiated stuff, so we weren't really sponsor that stuff, but if it was something that I got a call from 2 council members or whatever, and it was something that they were initiating or sponsoring, then we would put that on as.
It's fine with it and. Okay. Or the mayor, I should say.
The point of an agenda, in my opinion, other than to give structure to the meeting, is to inform the public what you're talking about. Is that relevant?
And I'm not saying that's probably not a great idea, because what I saw happening, it almost became a thing like, well, I'm sponsoring 3 things this
Right.
meeting and I'm sponsoring 2. It
I
became a
must
little bit
be
of a,
Councilman because.
exactly. So I wouldn't, I'm not recommending we do that.
Okay, as I'm reading this, I just want to make one more suggestion. It's grammatical. So the mayor, this is for Sarah mostly. The mayor and city manager will collaborate to establish meeting agendas, period. 2 members of the city council may also request the city manager to include items on the agenda of meetings of the city
One of
council.
which may be the mayor. It seemed like we ought to be clear.
Yeah.
I don't think we need that.
I don't think you
No.
need to.
When you say
He is a
city council,
member
he's
of.
one of
I'm a
five.
He's a member.
so it's all clear.
He's one of 5 of city council.
Per the
So the
charter.
key is we need at least 2 people to add
Of the
something to
5.
the agenda. Other than that the mayor and Shane already collaborated on. Okay.
You got the also add, Sarah?
Mhm.
Yeah, okay.
And so the rest of it,
Rest of it's good?
I didn't see anything else there. And
So
Laura
13.
didn't note anything there. This was just I think we all agreed on this. I put a note, agreed that February 16th, that we should use the 5 days.
Yep, yep. I thought the 5 makes sense because we do have a problem with Thursdays and Wednesdays. And I like that. Anybody have
5 days.
prior to the meeting?
Yes, I am in agreement with all of the changes for 13 and 14.
okay.
So 14 wasn't a change, it was a question.
Except that apparently a council added some language.
No.
Shall be made available to the public and news media, she added.
I don't think so. She had,
It was her, isn't it?
no, green is hers.
Oh, green is hers.
Green is hers. I think I underlined it to point out what the question was. I was asking.
So are you saying that
I just said, should this be written, updated, since all agenda materials are available online? I defer to Laura on this for OMI, Open Meeting Act compliance. But, all such meeting and agenda materials shall be made available to the public and the news media. Well,
Striking upon request, there's no reason to upon request because
Correct.
it's already upon. That's your point. That's why I agreed with it too. So there's no reason to be on upon request. It's already available. Is that
Yeah,
your point?
yeah, but the blue, correct, agreed, Joe. The blue underlined part was just this is one of these things as we read through, because this was done in 2011, to put it on the radar of our attorney to say, should we still have this in there this way? Because it's online. Do we need any updated anything? Because we're in a different time and space.
So going back to this 5 days, it always was 4 days. You feel that 4 days is not enough time to process what the city has given us? I mean, I guess I have to ask Shane, what does that do?
Well, we're 5 days now.
Yeah, we've already made that
Well,
change.
it's
so-
Thursday, but it's on Thursday right now. right?
Wednesday.
Oh, it's on Wednesday,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
What happens if we're not, it's great to have it on Wednesday. But is it that bad to have it on Thursday for 4 days?
No.
I feel it's kind of I think our city manager and clerk has done a great job of trying to get it out on Wednesday because we requested a little earlier. And that's what it's been, is trying to do that. But there are even some days when we've had it, and I've said yes to Thursday because we had an election, we had stuff going on.
Yeah, and it does,
I'd like to have a business day beforehand to be able to contact Shane for questions or clarifications.
Which is Friday
Which is a Friday, so the Thursday.
or Monday. Or Monday.
Or
all
Monday
day.
too, yeah, or Monday, you're right.
So you have really 2 days to have comments. I don't know, I
Just said
feel,
not later than 4, but you're saying maybe change it not later than 4 days. I mean,
preferably 5, but on those occasions, I don't know, how do we write it?
yeah,
in?
it's already in, the language is already in there. It says unless there exist extenuating circumstances.
yeah, there you go.
And will be prepared as soon as possible.
Yeah.
Proceeding, blah, blah, blah. So I think we're covered there anyway.
Okay.
We're already in that mode right now
Okay.
of giving that extra day, so.
Okay,
I think it's been working fine.
All
And
right.
there are times that
I just don't
when it's a
want,
short week because of holiday or whatever, that I've asked, we've extended out to Thursday, but
Yeah.
I think the language kind of covers that situation.
I just feel that we need to be flexible on this piece,
Right.
I guess is what I'm saying, and
And with
But
that added provision in there, under extenuating circumstances, that allows us to be flexible.
And it says no later than 5 days, so that allows for flexibility. Because 5 days, it shouldn't be needed any longer than 5 days, right?
Right. I guess why we're on this topic, and it's not a language issue, but I think it's something that I need to kind of keep asking because faces change, things change, is how we're doing agendas, agenda packets right now, how you prefer it. We could, as we go through the budget cycle, we could get laptops and or iPads and we become electronic. And so we're not out delivering hard packets to you. But if you prefer that, certainly we will continue to do that. I think now is another good time just to ask that question. It's how we're doing it preferred, or do you want us to consider something during the budget to maybe change this up a little bit? Or is this how you would like us to continue to execute the packet?
You guys need to turn your mics
I'd like to at least comment on that. There is no question, I like it electronically, particularly if I'm maybe not here. And it's really nice to get it. I love getting the email from Sarah because it's all there. And
Even
I
when
can
it's
quickly
late.
go through it, and I love that. At the same time, when I'm really in the midst of making the meeting and reading it, I put notes everywhere, and it really is nice to have it printed so that I can say, Tina's up to it again, and just, but I can make my footnotes in there and have my own questions on it. So that's really convenient to have it in writing.
Okay.
Mr. Wilmer.
I like it the way it is.
Okay, that's all I
I
need to know.
certainly do
We
not
don't
need
need to-
another electronic piece of equipment.
Okay, all right, we'll continue. Thank you.
Me either. This is good the way it is, and we can save the city the expense of laptops, so.
It's also the labor that running around all the time too. They don't have, electronics is nice, but I like it too.
You got your answer.
Yes, sir, thank you.
All right, moving along, down at the bottom is I think we're done with 14. No?
I guess, I know you guys said okay to the 5 days, number 13. 14, it was just removing upon request, so the thing in blue is keeping that, or?
No, the thing in blue was my question for Laura. You'll see along the way here, I've got some questions for her about, since these things are all available online, is this something, should it be written this way? Should it be written a different way to comply with
Should we
the
review
Open
it?
Meetings Act?
And made comments?
I don't know.
Because there's nothing in here either about Zoom and everything. We're gonna get to that, but that's what that is. It's just a question that I have. She may have a better updated, whatever way to do that or suggestion.
Okay,
Okay,
So similarly, number 15 is nothing more than a note to Laura to say, is this the right way to put it in this day and age?
Yeah, along with, it's interesting, that provision reads a consent agenda that generally includes approval of the minutes. Well, I don't know, is that accurate that it should generally include the approval of the minutes? Should it always include that? So just the language of this section, that was why I was highlighting it, yes.
As an ongoing issue, as an ongoing issue, it seems, when you say generally, it seems like that is what it ought to be generally, and not have a shall all the time.
Unless there's a law that says every meeting must have the
Oh, okay,
minutes,
okay,
and see, I
that's-
don't know the answer to that.
My experience in this year and a half that I've been doing this is that the mayor has been pretty open to pulling anything out of the consent agenda if we wanted to. And so I thought you'd worked out pretty well with the way that you do the consent agenda. So your point is solely is there mandatory things that are supposed to be, okay.
Well, presumably that comment will be a consideration that Laura has as she's reading this, right? If she sees something, whether it's highlighted or not, if she sees something in the writing that needs updating, she'll bring it to our attention.
Yeah, that would be her responsibility, correct?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
She'll read the whole thing through, is in other words of what.
So 15
they're asking.
is,
Yeah.
15 is okay. Just
It's a good
checking.
question.
Yeah, okay. 16.
No, we got 16. Appointment of persons, various boards.
Before you go, Mr. Mayor, before you go to 16, just want to, oh, no, never mind. That's 7, it gets into the next paragraph. Sorry, my fault.
So the reason 16 is there is this is not where we put this on our agenda. So this is giving us the order of our agenda, and we
Can I-
typically,
Please, please.
Sorry, there's one that I have noted here and it is. Um. Where it talks about old business. I don't know what bullet point that is.
It's right above.
So
Any
if you
item-
can remember our training on OMA and parliamentary procedure. This says old business, and there was a comment that was made that there's no such thing as old business, it's unfinished business. So I just made a note for you guys to consider that. You guys can say whatever you want on the
Yes,
agenda.
Instead of saying old.
Henceforth, unfinished business. Are you good with that?
I'm good with that.
Move forward. Done.
I mean, I was just
No,
point
it's
that was
it's
made,
not bad.
so,
It's good.
so you,
Getting rid of the word old and it's
Unfinished?
unfinished.
So if I understand correctly, Tina, if you just want to move that one earlier in the agenda, in the list?
I'm just saying, this is our procedures, okay? So if this is the format that we're gonna follow, and this is not in the order we do it, we can do one of two things. We can either move this to where it should be or where we've done it, or we can henceforward do it in a different order.
So why don't we put it where it's normally,
I think that's a great
where
idea.
is that?
That was my comment, was we should just follow our practice and
Yeah.
take advantage.
To move it to where?
It would go right after
city manager report.
city manager report.
Great.
Not consent agenda, then public comment, and then updates by the manager, and then appointments.
Right.
So updates from manager, appointments, then unfinished business.
Right. And then new business. Council comments, et cetera, and then adjournment. Yep, all good. So go to, when you're ready, Sarah, we move.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
No, I'll give you time to get it down. Correct?
This hits,
What, pardon?
no, I was on 17 and 18.
17, 18, under agenda,
Well,
amendments.
they're two separate things, so we'll talk about 17 first. 17 is the same problem we just discussed above in the inclusion requests. So now it's saying members of the city council and others may request that the city manager include items on the agenda of regular meetings of the city council. So who are others again here?
I want to point out that the city attorney discourages that limitation.
No, she's discouraging something different.
17 on the note.
Well, on the notes, they've put that in the wrong place because her limitation is 18 where it's in green. Okay? She's talking about only those items that have been included on such agendas which shall be provided to the city council, the public, and the news media prior to the city council's regular meeting may be acted upon at those meetings. She's saying, I discourage this limitation. It's not required by law and limits the council from acting on urgent issues that come up after agenda preparation. That was just inadvertently put under 17 instead of 18.
So her point is we should allow for agenda modifications. And it goes kind of against that we didn't put a public notice on an item agenda that we're gonna add. Like if we didn't have a bikes on the agenda July 6th and we added bikes in the meeting, can we do that?
I think she would say to omit what's in green. I don't want to speak for Laura, but that's what I think she's saying here. she would just omit that because it's overly restrictive.
Well, okay, going back to 17, why not just delete others? There's no need to really reach out past city council.
Well, the other weird thing here is this doesn't say anything about amendments. It pretty much, that first sentence says what we already addressed above, so I'm not sure why that's
That's
in
even
there.
in
Yeah.
These are
Because it-
agenda amendments.
Right. So let's go on to see, what does it say about amendments? Regular meeting. Only after thorough discussion. Yeah, I don't know why we need the first sentence there because it says the exact same thing we just did under inclusion requests, unless somebody's reading it differently.
I would agree to just striking the first sentence, including what, what council has provided in green.
So just start at agendas may be
Yes.
amended.
Yep,
That would be mine.
yep.
Okay. Good.
The other thing here, I had a note to myself again, because all about media and news media and advance notice and all that. This is another place where I'm curious if Laura thinks any updates are needed to this because of online availability. This is another spot where I think I just like her eyes on it to see, if any updates are required, because this is all talking about publication and that sort of thing.
Perhaps when it's submitted again for her review, Shane and Sarah, you could make a special request that she consider any updates that might be necessary in accordance with our new electronic world.
Yep.
Okay.
So we're okay, the rest of the paragraph, agendas may be amended at regular meetings of the council, but the action shall only occur after a thorough discussion of city council and consideration on a case by case and blah, blah, blah. Are we all okay with that?
Yep.
Okay, good.
Yep.
Me too. Okay,
Because there comes a time when we may need to do that.
we may do this.
It's not a practice that you want to be doing
Agreed.
all the
We
time.
always want the public to kind of know
Correct.
what's going to be on the agenda in advance of the meeting for them to make.
I don't think it's fair otherwise.
I
Okay,
I agree.
meeting minutes, anything you wish to say on that? Legally, I believe the only thing that has to be in meeting minutes, I believe, are motions.
And we had that discussion at that, the guy, he said less is better.
Well, yes.
I like our minutes.
And legally speaking, the only thing that's required are emotions. And there are some that do not have any discussion at all. We have decided, I guess, that we are going to have more.
Less is better in the minutes. I agree with that concept. My question is a little bit bigger, and that is when, when someone is introducing themselves for public comment, what is it that we require of them for the record? Because it's on Zoom,
Just their name.
just their name. So we don't care whether they're actually a resident of Petoskey or not.
Well, they.
We don't have a right, I do not believe we have a right to
But we
require.
talked about that before.
What's that, do we?
No, and
I disagree with it. I feel, I like the idea, are you a citizen of Petoskey? Or you're a non-resident? Not that we're gonna not take their ability to speak, but I would like to know who I'm dealing with.
Well, I did.
So when you say that, John, are you saying, I'm sorry,
Go ahead,
I'm in an open dialogue and.
Yeah.
Mr. Nelson.
Are you saying that there's a distinction between when you say a citizen of Petoskey or a resident of Petoskey, is that different than a taxpayer? I think there is a difference. So I get a little sensitive to, okay, if I own a house here and I have a subject on that's going on, but I'm not a citizen, I'm actually I'm a resident of Birmingham, but I have a second home up here. Am I not allowed to speak? And because I am a taxpayer. So how do you distinguish that when you're saying a resident, non-resident?
So.
I would take that if you own property here, you are a resident.
I do too. Okay, as long as that's what you mean, I agree with that.
I take it that, you know, that person's a resident of Petoskey. They own property here. They have a business here. To me, that's a different situation than
someone in Harbor Springs.
somebody from, yeah.
I would agree with that because the right to speak is different than a vote on an issue. You know, a non-resident, second home person doesn't necessarily have a vote
On a ballot.
on a ballot,
Yeah.
but they do have a voice.
So I defer to Laura on this, but the reason this whole thing came up about addresses is because there are people who have personal protection orders, et cetera, where giving their address on the record could be a danger to the speaker and discourage public comment. To the best of my knowledge, there's no prohibition, again, I defer to Laura, to be able to say that the person, you know, I live in the city of Petoskey.
But you
Or,
know what? I have met this weekend 5 or 6 people who would say, oh, I live in Petoskey. And I had conversation with them to find out that they lived out by Bill's Farm Market. So they feel that they live in Petoskey.
49770.
well, you might even, and this would be a question for Laura, you might even be able, if people know what ward they live in, I think they could probably say, I live in Ward 1, Ward 2. It's the specific address that's a danger to certain people in public, and that's why.
Yeah, and so I don't know how to work around that. I don't really care. I feel whatever somebody comes up here and says, I'm gonna listen to. And I have the ability to ask questions of how did you get, why do you feel this way, or where are you coming from? You know, I think you can lead into getting an answer that would be specific. You guys could ask.
I agree. When someone's up here talking, I kind of want to know what their deal is. Are they a resident here, or are they just an interested party from Harbor Springs wanting to get into the bit? I'd rather talk to people I'd like to know if the people that are up there are people that are residents with a vested interest
Within the city or within 49770?
within the city. But I would love to know, I'm open to their opinions, but to me, it's a little different when I'm sitting there, when you're talking to people and you know they live here.
I mean, you could, sometimes you don't you sometimes say full address, you could just say street name, you don't have to
Yeah.
give specifics potentially. I mean, Sarah and I were just talking today, there's a community in Michigan that has 2 public comment periods. The first one is for city residents only. The second one is open to anybody.
Interesting.
That's really, I like that.
Yeah, it was
Didn't
either
we do
city
that?
resident or if they have a business
Oh,
in the
yeah.
city.
Yeah.
So it captures that, but
We're doing the city convention.
Yeah, you could also say a tax-paying city resident.
Well, but then you're taking out all of the people that are renters
Oh,
that are
well,
not taxpayers.
Okay.
So they're now out of it, so.
but I mean, you emphasize the word city resident as opposed to
Yeah.
Well,
the larger Petoskey.
what
But I
about,
think there are gonna be people getting up here and say, I'm a resident. I live in the city of Petoskey. I witnessed that this weekend 5 or 6 times, and
So what you would prefer to do is say the address.
well, like Shane said, at least your street address,
Street name.
I get the privacy thing, but I can't imagine someone is
I'm not
on
even-
protected
I don't know.
custody that they
I don't
would
know.
come up here and.
Mr. Moore, how would you answer the addressing of this to not expose a person's address, but yet get the information that we are requesting?
the idea that's just been raised to bifurcate public comments, kind of an interesting idea, because then it puts a little more pressure on people. If you say we're going to have 2 segments to public comment, if you're a resident of Petoskey, come forward in the initial segment, you know, you could try that. But I don't even like the idea of a street. How often this applies, I don't know. I can tell you that I had one constituent that came and spoke here and then had an incident happen afterwards at her house. You know, there's no way to establish that those 2 things were connected, but I can also tell you that that person has never been back to speak. I just think it's a different day and time. And I think if somebody wants to stand up and say they're from the city of Petoskey and they aren't, I'm not sure how much you can really do about that. I would not, and again, I defer to Laura. I don't
All
even
right,
know if
let's
it's
move on.
legal.
Let's move on, because we're stuck here for.
Well, this is number-
We haven't even gotten to that section yet,
Well,
actually.
it's number 19. That's where we are right now, I think.
Are we done with minutes?
That's for hearings, though. That's
But
different.
there was nothing in that section. I thought we kind of morphed on to number 19.
Yeah, public hearings are a little different because we do need, I think typically there's a requirement to have names and addresses for public hearings. I think that's a little bit different.
I don't know the answer to that. Maybe Laura has to tell
We're
us.
gonna run it by, get a statement from Laura and move on. Okay,
I do feel very strongly about number 20 though, and I don't think that's always been happening.
okay, wait a second. Let's find number 20.
It's at the
So
top.
we're,
of
we're done
page-
on 19, just on, we're going to Laura and getting,
We're
okay.
going to Laura for,
Public hearings.
Yep.
Where did,
I agree with Tina on that,
we want to find out.
on affiliations.
yeah, because sometimes people are at meetings speaking and they might be a member of a nonprofit or who knows where. And I'm not clear if they're expressing their personal opinion or if they're representing that organization. So I think that's, I mean, it's in there, but I just think we ought to be finding out.
Okay,
But so that's already in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's something any one of you can ask. Are you speaking on behalf
Yeah.
of you as a resident or you as a member of blah, blah, blah?
right.
So we don't need to make any changes there, just leave affiliate.
You leave affiliations and you can ask questions as the presentation goes by. Quorum and voting, I see down at the bottom, there's 21. All votes shall be roll call and tallied. I'm all in favor of that.
Are you looking at now?
Number 21.
No, 21 was a question. There's two things. One is Laura's comment. Wait a minute, let's see this.
Are
21.
instances 2/3 required?
Right, so my question was, where is a 2/3 majority for any vote required? I looked in the charter, there's a provision that says it's a majority vote unless a greater number is required somewhere in this charter, but I couldn't find anywhere in the charter where a 2/3 majority is required, so that's,
With just 3 members, period. If you need, I thought we needed to have 3 votes, period.
Zone.
Not not 2/3.
well, 2/3
ZBA.
of 5 would be 3 anyway.
What if only 4 are here?
Yeah, that's ZBA.
Right.
City council.
You'd still have to,
ZBA requires it.
ZBA
It has
required,
a different requirement than city council for a vote.
Or what if there are just 3 here?
Section 4.
if there's only 3 here, yeah, you could still pass. But this is talking about issues where a 2/3 majority is required. 2/3 is 5, right? Excuse me, 2/3 is 3.
2/3 is 66%.
If there are 3 people present to vote in favor, that's your 2/3.
Well, you can't pass anything with 2 votes when
There's
there's. a
3.3.
quorum.
2/3 is 3.3 people.
Right, so this, why?
I thought it was said, where are you seeing
So
2/3?
there's,
I think it's
Last
saying
time.
like
Hard vote.
3 is a quorum, but
Oh.
it's saying if there's 4 people, it needs to be 2/3 of that, so it can't be 2/2, it still has to be.
Oh, here it says the affirmative votes of 4 members. Okay, the affirmative votes of 4 members will be required where a 2/3 majority is required. So my question is, on what issue do we need a 2/3 majority? I could not find anything in the charter. So the question is, do we need this? And the green part is something Laura says she wants us to omit. Or not, let me correct that. She says this is the way we do it, that all votes are by roll call and tallied, is not required by law. So she was just letting us,
I understand that. I'm in favor of a roll call and tally because I believe the citizens want to know.
I agree.
Let the record state that Ms. Walker is present.
Yeah, I got it by 58.
So I just think roll calling, people want to know who voted and who didn't vote. And I think to step up to the plate and vote that way, I think that's fair. Yes, Mr.
So
Knobloch.
one and I 100% agree with you, John. The question I have is how do you decide the role of it? Is it always the same, the person who did the
First motion, second motion,
And that goes 1,
support.
2, 3?
Then you go to the next one, the next one, and then mayor. That's how it's always been.
So Sarah's shaking her head.
That's not a law, though. It does not matter who you call first or second.
But our practice at this city that I have always
Whatever the
been,
policy is, but yeah, it's not a requirement by law.
but the process has always been who made the motion, who seconded it. If you made the motion, you have to vote for it. The person seconding it can vote against that motion. But the person that
Then
makes.
you
it-
always are last, so you get to cast it. You're always getting the final vote to change with the wind or whatever your thing is. As the
Yeah.
mayor. Sometimes I'd like to have that vote.
And you can. I mean, that's what a lot of my trainings and other professional like sessions, they say in other communities, some people have this fancy program in Excel and they jumble up the names and it's whoever comes up first for that exact reason.
And when you do a vote, when you do a vote, can I say pass for now?
No.
Come back to me? Don't have that.
Yes, I mean, I've seen that happen.
I have seen it too. Not here, but I've seen it in other, actually in Toledo.
That's in Robert's rules.
You have to, when it comes back around to you, you have to take a position, but you can pass.
So what happens if pass?
Yeah, that
pass,
seems
back
like a
to you,
hot mess.
pass,
Well, I'm
pass,
just saying you
pass.
can.
One time.
I also don't think you can abstain unless you have a conflict of interest.
These are the NACTRA rules.
No, Toledo does it. Toledo does it.
Yeah, with the community I came from, that was routine. Was what they passed
How did that go?
all the time.
How did that go?
I mean, they just kind of were waiting people out to see who was going to take what position. I'm not saying it was the right thing to do. I don't know.
I'm saying that that's not.
That
very
is something
good.
you can do.
So why should the mayor have that last opportunity to change? Why should the mayor be the last one?
Community I served in Adrian, it rotated for every voting measure, it would rotate, like Sarah was saying,
Do that.
it changed.
I thought it had to go to the person that made the motion and the person that seconded it had to go first and second.
I don't
I do
think
not believe
that's,
so.
I don't think that's, has to be that way.
Well, we're writing the procedures.
Yep.
I mean, I think there's something to be said about beginning with the person who made the motion and then the second. But what you could do past that would be rotate every time the order of the speakers, if people thought that was a good idea.
How difficult would that be to manage, Sarah?
My memory, I don't know. I mean, I try to go in order, but
No, I like the idea of
know.
motion second, but I also like the ability to change it up a little bit to have the order of who's the next is going to commit or not commit. I'd
I
like
mean, it
that.
might not be right on the fly. I'll have to like look back, cause I mean, I just,
Why didn't she just go right to left one time, the next time left to right, and then the next time right to left and back and forth?
Fast.
Then the people in the middle are never the end vote.
That's okay with me.
Well, that's right.
Well,
I'm gonna
that's the
vote the
whole.
way I'm gonna vote. I don't need somebody else to tell me how to vote.
Voting.
I don't need to test the way the wind is blowing.
that's.
I don't think anyone is suggesting that for anyone, Mr. Wilmot, at all. But Mr. Naktrab has raised an idea and we're trying to brainstorm how to do it fairly.
Otherwise, if you guys chose not to do the motion in the second, I mean, I could just have it all prepared after each potential motion where I pick 4, 3, 2, 1, mayor, and then the next one I say mayor, 1, 2, 3, 4, like I said it.
Yeah, otherwise we wouldn't know who's making the
Correct.
motion in the second, so that order would always be off, but we could certainly have that pre-done if we didn't have to follow that. The first person was the person who made the motion, second.
Miss Lindsay, do you know where we are?
Yes.
Oh, good.
Yeah, Joe filled me in.
Okay,
Thanks.
thank you.
So that's Sarah's suggestion. Does anybody go along with it? Did she just decide arbitrarily?
I'm okay as long as it's kind of rotated.
I'm good with that.
So do you guys want to add that under the required vote section? Or that's just, I mean, we all know now, but 3 years down the road, if all of us are gone.
Right.
I
Yeah.
probably would say that it doesn't need to be in here. It's kind of a ministerial practice, and if it says all voting shall be by roll call and tallied, we could test drive this method unless you all wanted it to be a part of the procedures going forward.
I'm good with it being in the ether.
Me too.
Going back, I'm sorry, I don't mean to shortchange this
I don't know
conversation, but.
if
Lindsay.
Lindsay has anything she would.
Yeah, I guess I was under the impression that first motion person gets to vote first, that approves the motion goes second, so I assume that was standard protocol, but you're saying that's not either in these documents nor in Robert's Rules of Orders, it's just been the way that we've done things. Okay, so if the whole idea about us changing the rules and procedures is to reflect reality or to have like a protocol, why wouldn't we include that as part of the language?
Include what as part of the language?
Like the fact that you have the person in doing roll for a vote, you have the person that made the motion go first. Like, if we're changing things, then why wouldn't we encourage that language? Because otherwise, I really don't understand this activity, and I've never understood like why we're doing this.
While we're doing,
This whole process. That's why I've never commented on anything like that. I've just been like, where is this coming from and why are we doing this? So if you want a comment, what I'm commenting on is for this roll call, why wouldn't we include the way that we've been doing things as part of a new format?
I think Lindsay, you could, don't forget your mic. Oh, now it's on.
Oh, thank you. Sorry.
I think you're right. I mean, this is like a framework for functioning going forward.
Right.
And you can kind of make a decision where it's not like legally required how granular you want to get. So you're absolutely right in saying you can put it in here if you want, or you can just leave it in this broad sentence, the one she's got in bold green, that's going to be the method, but then the specifics of it, are something that this council or other councils could test drive along the way if they wanted to. You could do it either way.
Okay.
Right in what you're saying.
I'm also like just benevolent and like, let's just get this done as fast as humanly possible and get it behind us and like focus on things that matter. That's my opinion.
Okay. In a traditional roll call vote, the clerk calls the roll in alphabetical order. However, the presiding officer, the chair, or the president is called last and will only cast the vote if it will affect the outcome of the motion.
Well, that's different, John,
That's
because,
AI, but.
but
just
that's
something-
different because you are the presiding officer, but you also have a vote. So you don't have an option not to vote, well, I suppose you can abstain, But otherwise, you vote because you have a vote just like all the rest of us.
And my only point on this is it what we want is the mayor to always, in essence, doesn't happen very often, but do we want the mayor to always have the deciding final vote with the benefit of the other four?
Rotating order. Some legislatures, or the deliberative bodies modify the standard rule and rotate the starting letter of the alphabet for each new motion. So the same person does not always vote first or last.
What I would say is what we could do is just leave this, all voting shall be by roll call and tallied. And we could test drive this new method and see how everybody feels about it. That way it's not etched in stone.
So how are you saying it would go? I would like to see, I don't care how the other three people vote, but I'd like to know how, I would like the person that made the motion to vote first. You know, I'd like the person that supported it second to vote second. And then I don't care what you do with the jumble. If you don't want me, you don't want the chair, not me, but you don't want the chair voting last. I don't care. But I just think those first two pieces go in place.
So I want to clarify because I thought Tina said that, or somebody said whoever voted, made the motion must support it.
Yeah.
I don't think that I agree with that because.
That is,
I didn't say that.
I believe,
You said it.
I believe that is in Robert's Rules of Order.
My point, and I made the motion on some subject, I love getting the feedback from people. So you can't have comment from the council or the public until you have a motion to entertain. So what if I change my mind? And I say, that person out there made a really good point. I disagree now. I'm gonna either withdraw my motion.
You made the motion, then yeah, there is no recourse for that. But if you second it,
The person that made the motion, can they withdraw their motion at any time?
So somewhere I have to look. I do not see where this is required before taking
The
comment.
person making a motion have to vote in the affirmative.
It's. Yeah. You know what I'm talking about, Shane? Somewhere. I don't know if it's in here,
What are you talking about, Tina?
that Mr. Nachtrab was just talking about how you have to have a motion.
The
before
discussion.
you have discussion. And somewhere it says something different than that.
I think it's under public.
Somewhere in the charter?
I don't know. I have to find it.
Is it under public participation, meeting procedures, where it talks about persons in attendance have an opportunity to make comments at the
Where-
beginning of the meeting,
Where are you right now, Miss Sarah? Please,
under meeting procedures.
Page 10 of the policy.
page 2. Okay. Page
Okay.
10.
Where it says at the beginning of the meeting during the miscellaneous public comment agenda item and or during the discussion of each agenda item. Where it says they cannot stay
There
for the
you go.
entire meeting.
Okay, so look at page 10 under public participation. It says, this is about a quarter of a way down, on agenda items. Following the mayor's reading of the agenda item, the city manager's background report, and some city council discussion, the mayor will ask for public comment. So as it's written right now, I don't see where it's required that there be a motion first.
But you generally have done that.
Right.
right,
But I don't see that that's in here. That's what I was trying to say.
Yeah.
So we're not that far yet, but that might be something we want to talk about. Because in that case, you wouldn't have to have somebody make a motion in support and put them in that position.
As long as we consistently do that, I think getting public comment before we vote in some form is really important.
We always.
And so either we're going to do it in the public.
It's always been that after the motion, what that does is it allows council to debate it first rather than the public getting into the debate with the city council.
That's
It allowed
fine
the
too.
city council to discuss it. Whatever works for you is fine with me.
I mean, the way I think you've done it is fine. At practice, you've always said, hold your comments until we get to the agenda.
Yeah, but the question is whether you have to have a motion first before hearing public comment.
And as a practical matter, the mayor has been calling for a motion first, and then council discussion, and then public
Right,
comment.
that's right.
In that order.
That's how
I'm very comfortable with that.
I'm comfortable with that too, as long as that's what we do.
Well, then, when we get down to section 10, it should be written differently because that's
Yeah,
not what it
right.
says.
When we get to that, I'm also comfortable with the person who made the motion voting against himself or herself if they change their mind as a result of discussion and public comment. I don't have a problem with either.
I think that we ought to be able to do that. Otherwise, you're kind of stuck.
It's happened to me before.
What, that you had to vote?
I made a motion or I seconded a motion and I had to
You changed.
follow suit, yeah, after discussion.
So, but you ended up, because you made the motion, you said
I had-
yes,
I had to
even
vote
though you
yes,
didn't
yeah.
really agree with it.
Until we have Robert's Rules of Order in front of us, I don't think, or we get the city attorney weighing in on it.
I think that's relatively important because these are important votes when we're doing things.
Does the charter say we're following Robert's Rules of Orders?
I think generally, it says that.
I think generally this country has done it that.
Well, alternatively, I think Robert's rules also says that the person making a motion can withdraw their motion.
That would
And
be
and the person who had made the second can withdraw their second.
Well, you and I
At
did
any
that.
time? Yeah, we did.
So that solves the problem right there. If you change your mind, just withdraw the motion.
For my part, I prefer allowing public comment before the motion. This is no offense to you, John. I know you've always done it this way, but I just don't see the need for that. I
So
think,
for every item, every item on the agenda, we're gonna ask for public comment before we do anything with it?
well, you already offered public comment on every item unless
don't
it's
have
the
to.
consent agenda.
But normally I just ask it
After the motion.
after the motion.
If there's no motion, because I've seen sometimes we do things here, if there's no motion, there's nothing to talk about.
Mhm.
It goes on to the next agenda. So I think the practice that John has followed makes sense.
But could we go back to
Where we are.
note number 21 on page 9, required votes? I would suggest that at the semicolon in line 3, we delete except all the way through required and keep voting shall be by roll call and tallied.
Well, I agree with that if we confirm that there is nothing that requires a 2/3 majority vote. That's my question. I don't know, I could not find it. So that's the question.
So the question to city attorney is,
Yeah.
unless there's something that requires a 2/3 vote, please, we want to delete this language.
From except forward to
Yes.
period and leave in all voting shall be by roll call. Yes, that would
It's
be.
2/3 of the majority present as opposed to of the total.
Well,
Again, hopefully she'll address that when she addresses the fundamental question, is there any requirement for 2/3?
Because I understood that if there's only 3 here, you need to, if there's only 3.
Well,
This is specifically
you
if
can't
4
have
members.
2 to 1.
This is specifically
You
referring.
need at least 3 at any time.
this part only pertains, this defines what a 2/3 majority is, which is 4 members. The question is, what do we have that requires a 2/3 majority vote? Otherwise, you have to have 3 votes.
No, 3, even if it was 4 people.
So this does say, if we have to have 3, I'm sorry, it takes me a while to read.
It's
So if we have
very
3, if we
confusing.
have 3 people here only, and it's a vote of 2 to 1, motion fails.
Right.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah.
That's required by the charter, section 4.5.
Okay,
We good on that?
yep. Next.
Do,
Page 10.
do we decide what we were doing? Are we gonna test drive some different kind of voting, or what did we
I
decide?
thought we already did. We did.
I thought we
say
did
that.
Yeah, I thought we did.
We didn't decide that?
I'm not sure what it
I
is.
thought we were
Are
gonna
you-
leave it to Sarah after the person who makes the motion in the second. She'll pick the last three people at random.
In a rotating fashion of some sort.
Yeah, it's gonna be a little harder with that. We won't have that preset, but we'll figure it out.
But I think
I
we
think
need
that's
to
an
have,
undue burden.
if we
on-
want to do that, then we need to have a preset thing. That's all.
A preset rotation.
That's
Set
possible to do.
location, so it's just clear that this is how we do it.
That's possible to do.
It would have to rotate.
Alphabetical, one direction, and reverse alphabetical the other.
And if you're an N, you're in the middle.
And the middle person would always
Wow.
be.
Cause you're a W, so you're always in the end anyway.
I'm always at the ass end, yeah.
You guys good?
I'm not.
You're not?
I'm hearing a motion in a second and then I get to jumble and then I just heard I can decide.
Mhm.
So can I decide?
Mhm.
So A, from the beginning alphabet, all five, not a motion in a second.
Ah.
I guess I'm
that's easier For
asking.
you to administer, if you say it's gonna be alphabetical, all motions, you're gonna have it already set.
That's what we're saying. It's easier if it's preset where it's not a requirement by law to have a motion in a second and then the rest of the three. So I could have it preset where
That's easier.
the first thing in the agenda is A through Z. The next thing you guys are voting on is Z to A. The next one would be N and whatever I decide, N to Z and then to A. And then go back to A to Z and then Z to A and then the middle person. That can be preset and determined as long as like obviously people are absent, then you just will take that person out.
Are you okay with that, Lindsay, though? Because you said you liked where the motion person was first and the second.
I'm for the first and second person.
Oh my.
Yeah, I think everybody's in agreement that the first and second motion maker should go first and then leave it up to the clerk to decide the mixing up of whatever she just said is fine with me.
But she was,
Okay, well,
I would say, Sarah, do it to the best of your
Figure it out,
ability. You
yep.
could test drive this, and if it doesn't work,
and if we need to change it, we can change it.
And the language here just remains the same, that all voting shall be by roll call and tallied, and then we just work out our little details, but it doesn't need to be in print, right?
Sounds like it.
Page 10 of 50.
Thank you, Sarah Beck.
City clerk, city clerk shall attend all regular meetings, special meetings.
so my input here is just saying this language is very iffy, shouldy, that kind of thing, and is that what we want? And also, it's saying that the clerk is limited in speaking concerning issues before the city council. Is that what we want?
City clerk who should attend.
Define limited.
As far as I'm concerned, the city clerk's point of view is welcome.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I don't, why are we limiting?
And as far as should is concerned, and if possible, I would suggest changing that so that the city clerk who attends all regular meetings.
Well, what it's saying is she's not gonna vote. It says, for, basically what it's saying is she's limited to speaking in concerning issues. What it's saying is she's limited to speaking in them, but is not voting on them.
Is what I see.
No, it just speak.
Is limited in speaking,
No, that's not how I read that.
Yeah, it's just.
Yes.
Well, if you took the word in,
limited
it
to.
is limited to speaking concerning issues. If you change the in to, it reads is limited to speaking concerning issues.
Why do we
I don't
need
know
that
why you
in here
have
at
it
all?
there to begin with, but
Yeah, why do we need that?
Cross it out.
Do some
Well-
cities where the city clerk has a vote?
No.
No.
And I would say too, in my mind, the clerk, there's times that she's not likely going to be here, so I think should probably is fine, because if she's not here, then I will do that responsibility.
Which is sentence number 2, right?
Oh, there you go. Okay, yep,
And it could be you or it could be someone else.
yeah.
So what are we doing on 22 and 23 then?
Yeah, so what do you, I'm sorry, Shane, you're just saying leave should in and if possible in?
Yeah, I don't know that
I don't know.
I don't know why that's,
That thing about if possible, shall call for the role of purpose for meeting and attend, I
That's-
think scratch that.
Scratch
the
if
word.
possible.
Is she's gonna attend if possible, she's gonna attend the regular meetings in a special session. And the word if possible, I think crossing all that out.
The city clerk who should attend all regular and or special meetings of the city council
Period.
shall call the roll for purposes of recording attendance and for tallying votes, period.
Period.
How about that?
That's it. Stop right there.
Get out if possible, but
Read it again, please.
the city clerk who should attend all regular and or special session meetings of the city council shall call the roll for purposes of recording attendance and for tallying votes, period.
Yeah.
No, whoops, before city council, sorry.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
so we're omitting if possible, and we're omitting the part about is limited
Yeah.
and speaking like that. Does that seem right?
Period. That's it.
It does.
And then the next one says city manager shall designate, we're good with that.
Okay.
Okay. 20.
City attorney,
Look at us.
city attorney, we're giddy up. We'll get a saddle on here.
So the,
The city attorney may attend all meetings. What's
well, here's the
Strike out.
thing, yeah.
what's the
It
issue?
says the city attorney may, it should say may attend regular and or special session meetings of the city council. And I'd say at the city attorney's discretion. I don't think
No.
that should
At the
be
invitation.
Cross that out.
omitted, so it
I
should,
agree with your, I agree with you.
Mhm.
yeah.
At the request of the city council.
Right, there should be a line through that yellow part. I screwed up. So it reads, the city attorney may attend regular and or special session meetings of the city council at the invitation of the city council as a body or the city manager.
Perfect.
Is that okay?
Move
Yep.
on,
Okay with me.
move on.
So.
And that's
Shane had the
typically-
ability To decide.
yeah, because I've been doing that.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
I guess if you see the agenda packet and say, hey, I'd like the city attorney to be there because I'd like her to weigh in on blank, blank and blank. That's something I would need to know because.
We have
You get
done
to
that.
Decide that.
He
I'm sorry.
has done that. He has asked me in the past, what do you think? Should we invite Laura online for this? And in 99.99%, I've said yes, because he just wants me to just give a yes to it, basically. He's already made, I'm fine with this.
So,
going
so
on this
as a
way.
point
It's
of,
fine.
as a point of clarification, I guess I am too, as a point of clarification, can I say that I want Laura to, I'm worried about spending money unnecessarily, but I'll say, can I say, I want Laura there? Or is it
Maybe
only
we go-
you and?
I think
Maybe we go back to how the agenda prep.
back to how you add the agenda, identical to how we get to the agenda, because otherwise every one of us are gonna have an issue. We want Laura. So it's this first meeting, second meeting, third, fourth, we're gonna end up racking up a big bill
Exactly.
just because all of us have specific issues that we want her there on. But I think if we have two people,
Yeah, the second line, Sarah kind of highlighted that.
Yes, this is,
At the invitation of the city council as a body
That's a
or
body.
the city manager.
so the reason as a body, I mean, I agree with what everybody's saying, but as a body is not right either, because that would mean we'd have to have the foresight before we even get an agenda to vote that we need to have the city
Correct.
attorney with us. So it should be redraft this the way we did the other one. I agree with everybody that at the request of two members. something like that.
Or another option could be if Councilmember Demore asks me to do it, I call you individually to try to get two others that concur with that, and that,
Or call me first, and if I say yes, then there's two votes and it's automatically on there.
This is a point of discussion I had, and now I forget where it is, but
But
I
that,
don't think we should be able to directly spend the city money by contacting the attorney.
No.
on our own.
We should not be.
It's
I-
kind of consistent.
I
with that point.
prefer it goes to the city manager, and here's why. You send a message, an email to him and say, Shane, I have an issue of dogs jumping out of windows downtown. I think it's important for him to call because he will then get information and share it with all five of us, then email. Got a request from a council person on this, here's the answer. And I think it saves him having to contact five people. And we all get and the most important part is we all get the message the same from the city attorney.
So is the city manager then the gatekeeper in determining when to spend the money for an attorney's input?
Yes.
I think it should be too, and not any of us individually unless there's three of us wanting to do it.
Okay,
Spending money.
I know what Tina's thinking right
well,
now.
I want to talk about this.
You don't know what she's
yeah,
thinking.
When I have had a legal question, Shane can speak to this. I reach out to Shane and say, I've got this question or concern. And he will say to me, go ahead and send it directly to Laura, or sometimes even he tells me to call Laura. I want to caution you with the road you're going down here, because I get it. And I would be worried just as much about some rogue person calling individually. However, the council has a direct relationship with the attorney, and where you can get into trouble is if you have issues with your city manager. And if you've limited yourself to funneling all concerns to a lawyer through the city manager, no offense here, and certainly not intended toward you in any way, Shane, you've cut off an avenue that's open to you to try to problem solve if you have issues with your city manager. So I hear you, I don't disagree, but I think you want to be really careful here.
So if the city manager doesn't agree, it should take two votes, just like it did. Two of the five should say they want the city attorney to be involved.
Well, the
I
other,
don't think a single council person should be bypassing the city manager, spending our money without some more people involved in that discussion.
I agree.
Let's say that we're not here. There's somebody else up here. 10 years, 2 years from now. We have a different city manager here. Do you feel that if there was issues that you needed to talk to them about the direction of the city by the city manager? Do you feel that you have to ask him to call about something that you have an issue with? This is the gray area, and it's not about this city manager, we all have agreed, or
Yes, it's
council.
not about Shane.
But we are setting records for the future, and I have concerns about that. We did have that problem in the past. I'm not.
But my only point on that,
Can't
John,
legally go into this, but we did have problems with this. I was involved with it, okay?
I agree with the ability to do that. My only point on this is that that's the case, and we have a problem with the city manager. It would seem like you and one other person, we ought to have some agreement to go contact that we're all okay, not all, but we ought to have a process that any one person can't do it. It needs to be a couple people or
Which is why I said
two
two.
people. That's, yeah,
If the city manager doesn't agree, it takes two of the five
basically override.
to override and
I would think that she would get on the phone and probably call the mayor because he resides over the council.
Right.
That would call me to say, what's the scoop on this? Where do you want to go with this?
So what I want to point out though, and
I
maybe,
don't know how do you want to address that? I
well,
don't
the
know.
way it's written right now, okay, in line 2, or at the
Are we on 24?
page 10 under
city
city
attorney.
attorney, line 2, it says or at the invitation of the city council as a body. That's 3 people if it's the city council as a body.
Right.
As a practical matter, that doesn't work because again, these issues come up when we get the packet.
Mhm.
So we can't at this meeting right now, 3 of us vote that we need the attorney to be here on the 6th. So this language needs to be changed. If your intention is to have 2 people, that has to be written differently.
And again, I'm probably over saying my view on this. I'm just feeling like any one person, like, shouldn't be contacting directly the attorney on their own without the approval of somebody else, and it's basically spending money. And you can, you can spend, these guys aren't cheap. And so to just make sure we're contacting the attorney prudently,
So-
not just every time we have a question.
Is your concern met with changing as a body to 2 members?
Yes, yes, it is. It just, yes.
So
it is met.
just so I understand really clearly here, to make sure this says what everybody wants. If, I'll speak for myself. If I have a legal concern and I contact Shane and Shane says, yes, I want follow-up from the lawyer on that. Are we good with that? Or do I need 2 of you plus calling Shane and him saying it's all right? Because here it says, and this is only talking about meetings right now. City attorney may attend regular and/or special session meetings of the city council at the invitation of the city council as a body or the city manager. So if one of us reaches out to Shane about an issue and Shane says, yes, I'll forward that on, or however he wants it to happen, is that sufficient? Because that's at his discretion.
In my opinion, if a member of council has a question for the city attorney, they should address that question in email form to the city manager, who will pass it along to the city attorney.
Which is the practice we've been following unless Shane tells me otherwise.
Yeah, unless.
That's of course at the discretion of the city manager if he feels it's appropriate to pass along to the city.
You gotta be strong. Again, the city manager's gotta be strong enough to just say, okay, or to say, Tina or Joe or Charlie, no, that seems like we don't need to do that. And instead of always deferring, I get the feeling sometimes we just defer to the council members and put you on a spot. And as long as that's not there, then fine.
No, I think it's how it's been handled has been fine. It's a little tricky because the city attorney is your
That's right.
hire. It's your, in this case, your contractual connection, but I'm responsible for the budget.
Right.
So I'm trying to manage the budget. But if I don't know that 3 individuals are reaching out, which I'm not saying this is happening, I'm just saying hypothetically, if I don't know that, then when I get the billings, I'm like, and we go through the billings to determine where things are. I didn't know that the mayor called her, or I didn't know someone else called her. So I think how we've been doing it, it seems to work fine. It's just a little challenging because that's not my person. I don't manage Laura as our city attorney.
Right.
But in a lot of cases, I'm talking to Laura a couple times a week. So if I know that you have a question in my course of talking to Laura, I can ask those questions in regular course of discussion. So maybe a separate email isn't needed. I can just ask those questions as we're going through city business on other things. So if I know what you need or clarification, I can add that to my list of questions to her as we connect throughout the week.
Well, as a casual question, I don't have a problem with that, but as a normal rule, I personally think it should be in writing. That if a city council person has a question, they should email it to you, and you should decide whether to pass that along to city council and respond to the council person accordingly and collect. These phone calls can be long debates that
What phone calls? Have there been phone calls?
I'm just suggesting that it should not be done as a general rule between council people and city attorney by phone.
I'm just asking generally, not specifically. Has it happened in the form of phone calls?
I
Call?
mean, I don't necessarily recall
That's okay.
specific instances, but, typically we want something in writing. When she sends us something, that's attorney-client privileged information, so we want to have that dialogue, that feedback in writing typically. I think that's most helpful, and typically, when I get that, I'll send it on to all of you so you can kind of hear, that feedback.
I like that part, that's the connection to it, so that we all hear the same story
Mhm.
from her, not just the person that had the issue, the question to the city attorney about a specific.
And if further clarification is necessary, she can be invited to the next meeting for open discussion.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, so how do we want to draft this? City attorney may attend regular and or special, there's two parts here, this paragraph and the next one. City attorney may attend regular and or special session meetings of the city council at the invitation of two concurring,
2 members of city council.
Well, no, I thought I'm sorry, I thought we got into the point that it would generally, the city manager consults with the mayor. And if the mayor says, if Shane wants it and the mayor wants it,
no,
It happens.
you can't limit it to the mayor, everybody at
It
the
says
table.
or the city manager, so the city manager alone can decide when to talk.
City
when
manager-
when the city manager doesn't want to, you're saying it takes 2.
Yeah.
Okay, then. That's fine.
Laura may want to massage this some, I think, but it says the city attorney may attend regular and or special session meetings of the city council at the invitation of 2 members of city council or the city manager.
Are you okay with that, John, as the mayor? Then you.
Yeah, but all he has to do is talk to the city manager.
Do you think practically speaking, does that make sense for the mayor? If he doesn't want to, that you would consult us or do you?
Oh, I would.
Fine with me.
I mean,
Okay,
I'm very, aware of the budget, so I'm kind of gonna be fairly conservative on that, but I also want to make sure that we're getting questions answered, and from a liability standpoint, making sure that we're protected always, so.
so now we're into the second paragraph of that.
Yeah.
No footnote, but that's kind of the one I was wanting to understand a little bit better.
Well, this again, it has that city council as a body, so if you want to follow that practice, generally questions involving significant legal research should be at the request of the city manager or 2 members of city council.
Works. Then the definition of what is significant. But again, and maybe I'm beating the death on this, but it's when we're spending city money, I don't feel that any one of us should be spending city money. So that's why, so it's period. Now, then if involving, do you strike the word significant? Questions involving legal resource should be at the request of the city manager or city council as a body. Then you don't have to worry about significant. You don't have to define significant.
Well, it then has this caveat in the next sentence that she, at the city attorneys, she can, or he can, answer just individual council members.
Oh, yeah.
I think you need to leave this in there. Again, I think, I was doing research on this actually, and the law is super complicated for attorneys representing governmental entities, like who is the client, who do you represent? There's a lot of issues around this, and I think you want to be very careful. I appreciate what it is you're trying to be cautious about. But the flip side is there are instances where city council members need to contact the city attorney.
And I get that too. Actually, I think we should always be able to contact the city attorney if there's something bad going on that we find out that we want to let them know from a liability standpoint. I'm just saying as a general rule, we shouldn't be all free to make direct contact with the attorney and spend city money without someone else knowing it. And we shouldn't set a practice for any of us at any time. Okay, just, I disagree. Laura, I've been thinking about this. What do you think about this, that, and the other thing? And then you're the client, and then she all of a sudden got 15 minutes, 2 hours into something. And and if we're being billed for it, that's where the control point should be. But it seems like we should always have the ability to contact the attorney if something is going on that we feel it's important.
Okay.
I don't know. So
What do you want to, when you look at that second paragraph? And I think just to kind of call it out here, one of the unique things we have right now is you are an attorney.
I'm not a municipal attorney, that's for sure.
But you are an attorney, you are an attorney, so you get into the word, you get into the documents, you get very much into that. And I personally see value in that. I also have been around people like that in my life where they're always talking to the attorney to try to get clarification and, oh, yeah, and I think that's a waste of time. And so I'm just saying, I like the value, and I think we need to all be aware of, I'll deal with attorneys a lot too. But I also think in normal course, we don't need the attorney to weigh in on every single topic. We can make our business decisions ourselves as it operates the city.
Keeping with that, we've made changes to the first paragraph, which I strongly support. And the second paragraph, I don't see any, it seems to me the first sentence is redundant. I don't see any need, but just to follow up with the city attorney with discretion may at any time answer questions from individual council members.
It's not redundant, the first sentence, because in the previous paragraph, it's addressing who can invite the attorney to a meeting. And the second paragraph's dealing with who can reach out in the lane that Joe's been talking about. That's the difference between the two.
Well,
So,
it doesn't state that in the first sentence. It only states that in the second sentence. It says generally, questions regarding significant legal research should be at the request of the city manager. That seemed, I understand what you're saying, but if it said that, I'd agree with you.
I don't understand what you just said.
But
The
all,
first-
it does not say in the first sentence that in certain circumstances that involving lengthy legal research, that an individual can reach out to her.
No, I thought you were saying that sentence was redundant to the
To the
sentence.
first paragraph. Yes, and the changes we
But
made.
you're
to the first
saying just
paragraph.
strike out that first sentence and just the second
city attorney
paragraph,
with
the city
discretion,
attorney
yeah.
with discretion, and leave it at that.
Yeah, and Tina's saying, well, the first paragraph is the invitation to attend a meeting.
Yeah.
And that's different than significant, no,
I wouldn't remove that first, second sentence. I think it addresses, I would just add in what we did on the first one. Questions involving, and whether you want significant in or out, should be at the request of the city manager or 2 members of city council, if that's what you want. But it shouldn't be city council as a body.
So my spending control part is satisfied with that. Is that then we at least got 2 city council members in agreement contacting and spending money to get a legal opinion. That makes sense to me.
Or you have 1 city council member requesting it through the city manager, and the city manager exercises his discretion.
correct.
And how do you then get to your point about what if we have a problem with city manager? How do you address that?
Well, I think that's the thing you want to look at, that last sentence,
Right.
because that last sentence is only talking about related to the performance of their office. You know, you might want to add something there that relates to what John, the mayor, was referencing that they had challenges with previously. You might want to expand that a little bit, like to the performance of their office or
And that of the city manager.
Well,
something like.
look, if there's gonna be a coup against the city manager or the mayor, it ought to be two, not one.
No, it's not a coup against.
Well, if you're asking, no, but the point is,
Lord.
the point is, if you're bypassing the process, there ought to be two, not just one.
Well, as far as the mayor goes, I can only be removed by recall.
This is not about the.
You guys can't vote me out.
Yeah, this is,
Voting you
I don't know where that
You
came
can
from.
vote him out, but you can't vote me out.
Well, they're not talking about you.
The point that's being made is that the city attorney with discretion may have time to answer individual council members that are related to the performance of their office. It may be broader than the performance of their office, and it may be appropriate for one or two council members to be asking that question.
And it may also be appropriate for a single person to do so if it relates to some personal conflict of interest or something that they don't want to disclose to another city council member without the advice of the city attorney. So I wouldn't support limiting it that way. Maybe this is something we can kind of give to Laura to see her best advice on
That's a good idea.
how to use the limiting language of the last sentence, but not limit it so much that if there's a problem of the nature that the mayor referenced, that we have a way to take
Yeah,
action.
this is such a slippery slope. You just raised something that at first I agreed with, and I'm saying, okay, now,
Could change.
if you contact the city attorney, because you might have a conflict of interest that you don't want to have disclosed, and she represents all of us.
She
are
would
you allowed to
decline.
Even do that.
She would decline. That was just a hypothetical example.
Okay.
A lawyer would, I mean, I don't want to say what Laura would do. I'll tell you what I would do. I'm not a municipal attorney. I would decline because she represents
Yeah,
the
because I
body.
think every single interaction that attorney has for us, all five of us have full right of understanding what her view is on everything. That nothing should be confidential. Is that right? I mean, there should be zero confidential things
Right.
that she's talking to John about, but she doesn't talk to the rest of us about, or me or Laura or anybody. Okay, so where are we with this?
Well, are we agreed then that that first sentence, generally questions involving, you want significant removed? I don't know if everybody agrees. Generally, questions involving legal research should be at the request of the city manager or two members of the city council. Is that what that's going to say?
I would go for that.
Yeah, but are you okay with that, Tina? I thought you had some objections to that.
No, I said,
You were saying, I want, there might be a reason to call directly and maybe we should get Laura to help us, guide us on how to navigate.
that's that last sentence.
Oh, okay.
I mean, what I would say with all of this is, to give it to her and let her look and see if she thinks she sees any issues. But that would be part of that last sentence, I think, Joe.
Moving right along. Slowly.
Meeting procedures.
125.
Number 25.
My question on there was, Shane, do you have an opinion on this point? No, you don't necessarily offer your opinion unless asked, so I'm just. asking.
I really tread lightly because I don't want to get into the policy-making lane. That's really you, city council. So, I've been in my career chastised a number of times for meandering into the policy-making lane, so I'm very sensitive to that. But I also know that you all can't set policy without having some background. So again, another fine line that I have to walk, which is fine. I'm certainly capable of doing that. And if asked, I'll certainly give you my recommendation, but I don't know as a routine course of action, if you, in my memo, do you want a recommendation? Or would you rather have your discussion, let that evolve, and then in the course of that, ask and let it evolve that way? Certainly I can put recommendations in my memos. That's no problem at all, but I just want to make sure you all have the opportunity to have your dialogue without potentially my recommendation impacting that.
I would rather have you, if you were gonna give us, the council wants you to get recommendations of sorts, I would rather you list for me personally the pros and cons of something and leave it at that. Rather than give us your own personal opinion, I would rather see the pros and cons that you see and leave it at that.
I think of the mayor's, I'm sorry, I think of the city manager's recommendations as being operational. And we don't, we're not privy to that information, so it's not like necessarily a list of pros and cons, but like from an operational standpoint, this is how I would recommend we proceed forward with this. And we're also getting this information in the packet and we're studying it, and so we're basing it off of, okay, here is staff's recommendation in regards to this piece of policy, so. I don't depend on that, but I weigh staff recommendations as operational recommendations based in the day-to-day operations, which Shane is exclusively privy to and guides all of his staff in that way.
I tend to agree with you, Lindsay, and because we all refer to the various directors for their recommendations. Seems like we're doing that on a regular basis. But why wouldn't we also ask the city manager for that? None of us seem to be rubber stamping anything. It seems like we're all pretty independent, generally thinking.
Yep.
But and I agree with your policy issue, Shane, I see your balance. And I'm not necessarily saying I'm looking for your policy input. I'm certainly looking at, like what Lindsay said, operationally, effectively, logistically, what's your thought on this? Is it manageable? Is it that, those kind of opinions are really important.
Yeah, I liked how you mentioned it, Councilmember Walker. What are the operational impacts, and maybe keeping that focused on that, I think will be helpful for me.
But that then is listening to the pros and cons basically of it too then, because you're saying this is the good pieces of it, but there's also possibly you'll come up with these are the negatives to it, but it doesn't matter what the terminology.
I just don't want, sometimes, there could be a tendency, we're all humans. If I'm making a recommendation, are you comfortable enough to push back? And I hope you are, because that's your responsibility.
Sure. Yes.
Okay, then I don't need to go any further. Okay, and I would say yes as well. I know each of you individually, and I appreciate where each of you are coming from. There's been times though where I've put things down and I feel a hesitancy to, if there's a pushback against that, is that like a black eye to staff? And I don't want you to feel that way, and I hope you don't feel that way, because I understand where you are coming from, and hopefully you understand where I'm coming from staff standpoint. And
Right.
My recommendation or my leaning isn't always going to be followed, and I get that. I appreciate that dialogue, but as long as we know where each other are coming from, I think that'll be helpful.
So I have a suggestion for changes to the second sentence, beginning with the city manager will, that we change that to may. The city manager then may be asked to provide background information concerning specific agenda items, as well as to provide the city manager's recommendation, period, delete when necessary.
I don't want may though, because we want him to provide background
Shall?
information. Yeah, the city manager will be asked to provide background information concerning that specific agenda item, as well as to provide the city manager's recommendation. And you want just period, so each time he's to provide it, or as requested maybe?
Well, that's why I wanted may, because
But there's two parts of this sentence. So the may part, I don't think applies to providing background information.
We do want background information.
Yeah.
Correct.
I like the background information.
Gotta have context, yeah.
It gives context, exactly right.
That's just that you have an idea.
You can just omit when necessary and put as requested. So if we
I
want,
think background information should just be a part of his
Yes.
agenda.
Yeah, that's what a memo is,
That's what
yeah.
it has been.
Okay, so as requested at the end rather than when necessary.
I think so.
So
So,
that's requested when, not on the background sheet. It's always at the council. It's live in the live meeting.
well, and
Whenever it's requested.
Okay.
But it's requested for, is it requested for the agenda?
To provide the city manager's recommendation as requested. So in other words, he could provide background, he will. And if we want his recommendation, we have to request.
Can we say at his discretion?
Or you could ask it at the meeting or.
now that's my question to you, Shane. Are you comfortable if at the meeting, I mean, it'd be a courtesy to you if we were to say ahead of time, we'd like you, I'd like you to give your recommendation on the record, but you're comfortable at a meeting
Yeah,
with
sure.
just being asked?
The city has operated multiple ways over the last 14 years. There have been city managers that have put in their recommendations on the bottom, and there are those that have not. I'm fine with whatever council wants. I'm just saying, we have done this both ways in the city.
What has worked better, John? In your opinion, you've got a lot of experience.
What do you feel, Shane? Do you feel that you should give your recommendation at every?
I mean, I don't think every item needs to have my recommendation. A lot of
No,
things.
but the ones that require a motion. Do we want his recommendation?
I mean, even that, I
Or
would.
do you want to just wait and ask for it each time?
Ray Lindsay framed it with darn good to me. The operational impact of motion. I don't necessarily need Shane's policy input directly. I don't need that all the time. I mean, it's fine, but it's not either way.
When
But
requested.
I mean,
We are the policymaking body, but we've hired a professional. So I would like his recommendation on some items because he's got professional training and
I agree.
experience I don't have.
So how do you know which are you? No, so-
How do you-
Because he just
So
said,
how do you get the recommendation?
he just
Usually
said
this-
he's fine with
Yeah, I
an
mean-
on-the-record request.
Okay. All right,
that when requested is gonna be on the record, basically.
so when it's
Yeah.
discussed.
Yeah.
Which he always has the opportunity to decline. If
Yeah.
he chooses not to to provide a recommendation.
Right, but hopefully I've done enough background, putting the memo together to have a pretty good stance of where.
Yeah.
Where operationally this could be impactful.
Yeah, okay. Next number. We've gone 2 hours. I'm just
Doing good.
also the timekeeper on this.
26 requires an input by Laura. It's not it's Tina's question to Laura. We don't have,
I mean, we just make a statement in here that we allow
We
for
do.
public comment more than cities do and more than's required by law. And my question is that true? I don't know if that's right or not. It should be right if it's in there.
I
I don't,
agreed with, I agreed. So is that a Laura then?
did that or we could take it out.
I think personally, we just take it out.
I think personally, we just take it out.
Yeah, we don't need it.
No,
So wait. So what are we taking out?
You're
That first sentence.
Well, you can say the public is encouraged to participate in city council meetings, period. Then go to persons in attendance.
yeah, that's fine.
That's fine with me.
Just, well, I won't say it. We do go above and beyond on public comment. In the course of dialoguing with other city managers, I'm sure Sarah would say the same in her clerk meetings. It's not routine to have public comment after every agenda item. Places do it. I've worked in places that do it, but that statement is correct. But we don't need to have it in our policy.
Okay.
We
Oh,
could
here we
take
go
out a
with name and
draft.
address.
27 brings us back to the whole address thing. I would omit address.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then 28 was just another point, because it says speaking the microphone is helpful, blah, blah, but it's required now because we're on Zoom and we're online. So this is another point where well, you can't hear. Well, no, but that's why I'm saying this is a point where Laura can provide us input. Like now that it's Zoom, should this be stated in another way? Speaking the microphone's required as the meeting is being transmitted via Zoom in real time and recorded, something to that effect.
In other words, you're saying, we have the ability to say, because you're not in the mic and you're on Zoom, you have no right to say anything. No, but you don't want that. But in theory, that is it.
That
If you're
is
not
what you're
present,
saying.
you can't talk.
Right, so the technology's
You
been,
want to be.
yeah.
But when you, so
In-
what is then you have to identify what volume you're gonna make these people speak into the microphone, because I just, if somebody gets up and goes, I want to speak to council or steps up, do they have to stand right there and use that microphone? I don't think they do, Sarah.
Oh, this-
Am I right?
I mean, I'm not saying the law requires it. I'm saying this was written in 2011 where there were no, I'm sorry.
I'm interrupting you.
Oh, that's okay. Was it the wrong year?
No, you're right. No, it was.
Where this being optional, the way it's written, this is your framework for operations. So now we have a different framework. I'm just saying we need clarity. What is the framework? What should it be? Because now we're on Zoom. Now we record these on video. That's what I'm asking her.
I think the way it's written now is general enough. I think it covers the waterfront. Personally, I don't think we need Laura's input on this particular sentence.
Speaking at the microphone provided is very helpful for others.
So they speak into the microphone on Zoom too. It's a microphone.
But it's no longer very helpful. It's very helpful
It's
for
right.
others to hear,
Yeah.
but there's more
But
than
it's not
that.
required by law that they speak in a microphone.
If they don't speak in the microphone, the people on Zoom can't.
We won't hear them.
But it's not, but you know what? It's not, but they're not talking to the audience or to anybody else out there. The five people right here are the only people, if these two people can't hear it, it's these five people right here who they are addressing, period.
And this covers it, I think.
I agree with you.
Believe, I don't
I-
care what you do with the microphone stuff, but I just find it.
The whole point of this exercise is to update a policy. There's no law that says you have to speak in a microphone. Not that I'm aware of. The whole point is to make it relevant to the world we exist in now.
So take out the word audio and you've got it. I mean, it's just, they have,
No,
speaking into a microphone is helpful for others to hear the comments and for the proper recording.
But it is not required.
No, it's not required.
Although in practice, we tend to say, be sure to turn your microphone on.
Yes.
Turn your microphone.
Well, that's because with
so that
proper
the Zoom
recording.
People can hear it.
That's,
in the audience.
That's for you guys to hear.
yeah, that's for us and for us to speak so that they can hear us.
Well, it's
But-
also for people at home who are trying to understand what's happening at the meeting.
That may well be the consequences of speaking in a microphone. But ultimately, they are addressing council.
It's
long as we can-
also, it's, if we're going to broadcast on Zoom, which I think is very valuable, gives people access to a meeting.
But couldn't agree more.
Right. So speaking at a microphone is more than very helpful. It's required for not only people in the
It's not
room.
required.
It's not lawfully required.
I didn't say that.
You just said required.
It's necessary. For
It's
people-
necessary for everybody to hear.
Yes.
So you would like,
Revise it by saying, like, the council asks that the person speaking state their name, speak into the microphone. And so that comments can be recorded in the minutes, just edit the first sentence.
Maybe just say instead of very helpful is necessary for others to hear.
That'd be better.
For the proper
Yeah.
recording.
Public shall.
You don't just need to have audio there.
Right.
Speak into them.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, fine.
Well, audio, why wouldn't we leave that in where we have an audio and visual recording that people can access?
Then leave the audio in. I don't care.
And the next paragraph, next two sentences are perfect. We're leaving those sentences in there, right?
Yeah.
And go on to
I
29.
don't see
Or do
anything
you
to
keep
change.
audio or not?
We're crossing out very helpful and putting in necessary.
Got that. I'm saying is audio kept or removed?
It's
Just
kept.
remove it.
Kept.
Now the next question is the 5 minutes or not the 5 minute stuff.
Yeah. Is it 3, 5, 2.5, 10?
10.
5 minutes is a long time.
I agree.
I thought you've always had like 2.5 minutes, Mayor, for public comment.
5.
It's been 5? Okay.
5 seems to be a long time.
I agree. I think 3 minutes. I think that's reasonable. If you have a room full of
I think at
people,
one time we felt it was 3 and then we found that we should do 5, so.
Yeah, there was some,
I believe this body can decide how
Mhm.
long.
Yeah.
3, 4, 5 minutes. You want to compromise and say they get 4 minutes?
So John, what do you feel is appropriate? You've been listening to these for years.
I think 5 is a bit long.
So let's do 3.
Let's try 3, and you know what, if somebody. I have, as you have seen in the past, given people more time because I see that they're still on task with what they're presenting and not repeating. I haven't hit the button and go, you're done.
I think the discretion of the mayor on that is okay too.
Yep.
You can,
yeah,
depending on the size of the crowd and the issues at hand.
this is just a framework.
Yeah.
So if you put 3 minutes and you want to exercise discretion,
right, perfect. Now, what was the number 30?
The one thing it doesn't say is it doesn't say that
Personal time.
repeating the same points from multiple citizens should be discouraged. Once somebody stands up and says something,
But I think that,
do that.
just discouraged.
it would, I have done that as you
Yes,
know.
I know you have. It's been
But
very effective.
legally, I should be slapped down for that, okay? Because I am taking away people's freedoms of expression.
Yeah, and you got different emotions, you can say the same thing with different emotions and it comes across very differently.
Okay. Then I guess we're moving on to 30, right?
Especially if we're going to 3 minutes, then what the heck? I guess everybody should get their 3 minutes of fame.
It was just the sentence, comments that turn to personal attacks are not useful and will be discouraged. I would just say comments that turn to personal attacks are prohibited or something, because
So my comment was, personal attacks seem to be the norm in the state and federal politics. I think we should be
will
respectful.
not be permitted or something.
We'll be tasered.
Or yeah, you could phrase it in a positive way. Like, comments offered should be respectful and constructive or something like that. Instead of what you don't want, to put in
What you do.
what you do want.
The problem that I have witnessed is when people get strongly emotions, they tend to get very personal. And it's not illegal to get personal. It's not illegal to say, Joe, you're a piece of crap and it's not illegal.
Yeah, I've watched
Free
it on,
speech is a
I-
powerful thing.
I pulled it up on YouTube to see what was there. And we have never had situations like I saw on YouTube multiple times of individuals personally attacking people, but legally they had the right to do it. They had a right for free speech. Hopefully we
So
can.
what's
avoid it.
wrong with the sentence? That's the way it's written, I guess, is at this point. Comments that turn into personal accounts or personal attacks are not useful and will be discouraged. What do you want to have changed in that?
I just leave it as discouraged because you really cannot have them unless they're threatening a person.
If it's a threat, that's a different level.
That's a whole different thing. That's a assault.
That's when you call 911.
but you have to sit and sometimes you may have to take it.
I might start crying.
You could say something like,
I could do that too.
say something like respectful, constructive comments are encouraged, semicolon. Comments that turn to personal attacks are not useful and will be discouraged. So you put,
I don't even think to put anything in on that, because you know what?
I think your point is, it's in there. I mean, I think you're covering what you want.
You're just asking, here's our limits, push us to the limit. I don't know.
I suggest we just move on to the next one.
31. Same, yeah, keeping it as it is.
Sarah had a question.
One, nope, keep moving.
31.
Everyone okay? My page okay? We're moving to the next
I
one.
thought we were done by Seth.
We go to 31.
No, I'm just calling out the number. That's the next one.
What was your point on this one? You know?
I just have a question, like, what is the process here? If a member of the public requests inclusion of matters on the agenda, they go to you, Shane,
Yep.
but like, what's your backup here? If you
What's the-
want it or don't want it, or 31, it's on page 11, under public requests, number 31.
You see, now I thought we already decided this. What,
I think it just goes back to me and two council members.
Yeah.
Or to the city manager and myself to just make the decision.
This doesn't come, I don't think this has ever happened.
I don't know. I'm,
Not that it won't.
I just think it's a good thing to be proactive about, because you want to know, like, it should say here.
Yeah, you wanted to, Tina, I think you said you just want it to be the same as number 12, which means,
Well, I think I was just meaning to say that my concern was the same as I had with number 12. Kind of like,
I don't want it placed. Yeah. If such requests cannot be handled administratively or requiring the city council's consideration or action, the city manager will place those items on the city's next meeting agenda. I don't want that.
I don't want that
Right.
either.
So if we
When
went-
you read that,
I say, I don't know,
cross off the whole paragraph.
I don't know why it's even in there.
well, when you go back to 12, we took it out. So we said 2 members of city council.
That's why I'm saying if somebody comes up with an issue, they're gonna contact you guys or they're gonna contact the city manager or to me. And we've already got a process for handling it. I think this whole paragraph,
Just
public
take it out.
request could be just
you
do
can't be
this
forced to
right
put it
there.
on the agenda.
I
That's
just took
That's what
mine
we
out.
want to have happen, that you can't force us to get something on the agenda.
I just took it out.
Okay, so that.
I
the
moved
only
we
thing in
take it out.
public
You good
record
with that?
Is the first
I'm
sentence.
good. Don't even need the first sentence.
Or you're taking the entire paragraph.
You don't need it because
If they have a question, they come to you guys or they come, we're the ones that are gonna have the ability to discuss it.
Yep.
yeah, we solved this back on page 7. At
Okay, bottom of the page, resolution ordinances.
least I think we did.
That's number, oh, that just has the S on it, is that right?
That's
All right.
all.
Form of
Moving right along. Lordy sakes, people, we're 2.5 pages from. We're done. All right, moving down this page, we've
That's,
got number 42.
that's Laura's. She's just saying that the law permits summaries to be published and that it's cheaper.
Yeah,
So I think
Now
that-
we do that.
yeah, we do that.
All right.
Yeah.
So it's in there, text of ordinance
Back to
must be
32.
published.
No, it's wrong the way it is. That's what she's saying.
We're adopting what she's saying. Well, what does she wants us to do?
Yeah, but so it's gotta be. What's here, she doesn't want. She wants this changed.
But can we ask her what she wants to change to, or is it a policy thing that we?
Isn't that just say the text or ordinance must be published? Is
She's,
that it?
She's,
Do we need more than that?
yes, because she's saying the text doesn't have to be. The law allows a summary
42.
to be published, which is generally cheaper and preferred. What we have imposes a higher standard than the law requires. Do we publish the whole thing now or a summary?
Summary.
So we just need to change this or maybe omit it. I would leave that up to Laura. Does she want it to say summaries must be published or?
So it sounds like what Shane, you just need to go back to her and say, we agree with what her point
Yes.
is. And make it consistent with what she thinks it should be, because we agree.
Make it simple,
Yeah, well, right, and there's that.
We'll make it
as close to deletion as possible.
it's the summaries. That's the answer.
Next. I see somebody put 32. There's a 32 on that one. What in the Lord is that?
So Tina.
32, Mr. Moore, is all this, is all of this required or might some or all be deleted or consolidated with the meeting procedural section? Wilmot, don't see the need to change. Now drop, not sure.
I don't know.
Murphy,
So in other words, I don't have.
What's the answer?
I don't care.
Well, Laura has looked at this and she's suggesting a change in scheduled hearings, so maybe she thinks it needs to be in here.
So where is she saying that?
In the next number 33.
Okay, so 33 is where she had.
you'd strike the
32.
highlighted
Oh, I
language.
see what you're doing. Okay, Tina, I'm sorry.
Isn't aware of regulations that address who schedules the public hearing.
I'm just presuming because she's suggesting an omission that she thinks the balance needs to be in there. She didn't really answer it.
Are there public, in your question, Tina, are there public hearings that should be scheduled by the city manager?
Where are you now?
On 33.
Not without,
33.
not without, consensus by city.
City council has to vote on it.
Yeah.
Even if it's in a session of like Parks and Recreation
Yes.
or Planning Commission, it's approved by city council.
But she says here, I would allow the city manager the flexibility and discretion to schedule public hearings. But I was asking because I don't ever know when that's ever happened or when it might
I
happen.
think it should happen the same way it does in that city council.
Yeah, I've
says
never done that.
He's not gonna schedule a public hearing.
So it just should
He
say,
works with us closely.
so it should just say public hearings will be scheduled by the city council,
Yes.
period.
Period.
Unless like Sarah mentioned, unless it's an emergency,
Like ordinance.
Ordinance that-
declaration.
I don't,
Would that be a public hearing for an emergency?
probably not a public hearing.
That would be an
No, I mean,
emergency.
ordinances are first
Emergency
readings,
purposes
if you
of vote.
will. I mean, it all depends. I don't know, I mean.
I think that probably addressed somewhere else.
And those would be probably temporary rulings of emergency.
Mhm.
Well, that's outlined in the paragraph above.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
emergency, there you go. Yeah.
Okay, so we're just gonna have ending with city council, period.
Period. Scratch the rest. Okay,
You know what paragraph you're in.
Or do we even, yeah, I guess we need, yeah.
let's just leave it scheduling hearings, public, yeah.
So on 34, just strike the word address then.
Yeah. Wait.
For the rest.
Now, the other thing I put there was, I put names of persons who provide comments during the public hearing along with
Affiliation.
affiliations if speaking on behalf of an organization or entity must be given for inclusion in the record of the public hearing.
My comment was it should be the same as your number 19, which would include the affiliations.
Does that work the way I read it?
Yep.
If it does.
Names of persons who provide comments during the public hearing along with affiliations, comma, if speaking on behalf of an organization / entity, comma, must be given for inclusion in the record of the public hearing.
In a practical matter, that's what generally happens.
Yeah. Is that okay?
It's interesting that in public hearings, you have to give names and addresses, and yet at city council, we don't ask for.
We just omitted that.
Oh, are we admitting no addresses now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Read it again, Tina.
Names of persons who, wait a minute, names of persons who provide comments during the public hearing, along with affiliations, comma, if speaking on behalf of an organization slash entity, comma, must be given for inclusion in the record of the public hearing, blah, blah, blah,
On behalf of an organization or what?
slash entity, slash entity, comma, or if you want to say that. That work?
Works for me.
You're happy with it.
Get that.
I have it written down if you need it.
You want her to read it back,
One
Sarah?
more time, please.
Sarah, Tina, read it.
Names of persons who provide comments during the public hearing, along with affiliations, comma, if speaking on behalf of an organization slash entity, comma, must be given for inclusion in the record of the public hearing.
Period, or you're not keeping? up
No,
with other
and
stuff?
then go on to the rest. I'm sorry, I was just stopping because the rest is the way it is.
That is a super long run-on sentence. High school English teacher.
Okay, time limits.
Now I'm understanding it.
I know for sure somebody
Now
down,
we got time limits. Are we gonna use that the same?
Well,
I
but-
would.
But you don't, I'm wondering if you even have to. It already said the mayor may establish time limits.
I think it should establish, I think
agree.
we should have a time limit of 3 minutes, because you don't want somebody, you know what I do, but what happens if I drop dead and tomorrow somebody else gets in here?
Should use that same.
What
link-
about that second, what about the other question that I think is in there, that last sentence?
That's,
What if you have, what if you're having dialogue going back? We've had some people in here, say, well, what about this and what about, how many times can you talk? That's in this paragraph too.
3 minutes times 5 times they speak, but.
So if they're coming up more than once,
I would probably take the initiative and state, you've been up here one time, this is your last time speaking on this issue. If you have something new to say, I welcome it, but if it's just a repeat of what you have already said,
but if it's a
I
point,
ask you to
I don't know.
pass.
We've seen it, I've seen it here. It's some people, you'll have, I don't want to say any name, but I've seen people stand up and they hear something and say, well, what about this? And then it's always it's a kind of a bantering back and forth.
With audience or council,
No, with audience.
I'd tell them to sit down and you know what?
I'm fine with that. Okay.
should we have like the repeat, like public comments should be limited to a maximum of 3 minutes at the public hearing?
Yeah, I think we just use the same.
There you go, same thing.
And then okay, the mayor presiding officer may set. So we take the second sentence out then.
Take out the second
Well,
one.
we
It
take the
says-
first and second one out because it's just gonna say public comments should be limited to a maximum of 3 minutes at the
Well,
public.
if we already say that, why don't we just take the whole thing out?
Yeah, it's already said in
We've already said it before, so I don't
We
think we
already
need
have
any
it.
of that.
Um,
I don't think we need time limits.
That's true because this is under meeting procedures. So
Yeah.
yeah, I don't think you need that.
Cross the whole thing out.
Well, the only thing missing though is do you want to address this issue of different time limits for people who speak more than once? If you do, we could put it back in this other public participation section.
Tell people they have a 2 minute. If you speak a second time, your limit is 2 minutes or something like that.
I like the idea the mayor or presiding officer can kind of limit it.
I don't think we can legally limit that, though.
To come back, keep coming up.
I don't think you
You
could.
can't limit the total
Total
time. for
time, yeah.
Comments, that's true. But I think, don't you think you could?
Could I limit it to second time up as a 2 minute?
Yeah, I mean,
limit?
one and
Maybe
done.
not, maybe not.
One and
I don't
done.
know. I don't know the answer.
To me, that's a little cumbersome. If
Just
we're
have
gonna
it
do
3 minutes, just 3 minutes.
Everybody has 3 minutes.
3 minutes, and if somebody comes up a second time, I don't think you legally can say, you already talked, sit down. I just
But you
don't.
did under the public comment, you already gave them a public comment opportunity.
And they had 3 minutes.
So you're not
So-
limiting them, they're not giving them the right to speak since they already have.
Yeah, they used their 3 minutes, they're done.
So we're just gonna take
I
out
don't
this
know.
time limit section and stick with what's under public participation.
Sure.
I think that's
I
the
like-
cleanest thing, yeah.
I think that's, like Shane said, that's the
Shortening
cleanest thing we
stuff.
can do and the shortest.
Yeah.
You
Uh,
could, I don't wanna get,
And I will use discretion if there is somebody. I'm sure there's times when you guys, somebody has told me, well, maybe we should let them hear him again. I think somebody has at some point said that in
Yeah,
this council.
I think I can feel myself have said that.
I think you have, you've said, well, can we hear him, what his response is to that or something?
And
I think
again,
we've
this
done a
is only
good job to
guidelines.
this
It-
point.
We can kind of modify.
One of the things I think we need to add language here, and we need to convey this in our policy that those present will have first opportunity during public comment before we go to the Zoom, folks.
so we should put that back
Where
under,
that should go, but
well,
I've always tried to practice that.
Right,
is
but I think we need to
you're
put it
here,
in
you
writing.
get First, which probably technically isn't any more right.
It's a guideline.
It's a guideline. It's a rule, it's a guideline. It's not a rule or.
since this part only pertains to public hearings, Shane,
Yeah, it should go
And-
back and they.
since we're taking out that section and having the public participation part apply on
I don't think it,
11, that's where it should get put in if that's what you want.
Unless you just want to just leave it as a,
so we just leave it as is at this point. Do you see a city manager, a city mayor sitting here going, I'm gonna go to these people online and you guys sit down and wait your turn?
Yeah.
It ain't gonna happen that way. It is not, right?
Well, and by
People
the same
came here for
token,
that priority.
if somebody has, if somebody wants a second 3 minutes or 2 minutes or whatever the case might be, they ought to wait until everybody else is finished commenting.
Oh,
first.
yes,
That's for sure.
You know,
For
but
sure.
I'm not sure you necessarily have to write that down.
like going back for seconds at the buffet, make sure everybody's gone through first.
Take a new plate.
Remember that, Joe.
Well, you've got alternating speakers here too. Do you need that? I don't think so.
I don't
No.
think so.
No,
This is why this section, I wondered if we even really needed this
Now I
because,
understand why you got that.
yeah, it seems like a lot of this
Just
over
makes it more cumbersome, really.
non-attendee comments. Are we
So
just
why don't we
taking,
delete the entire
yeah,
section?
let's do it.
delete the
Actually,
entire
that- that's
section?
Non-attendee
Your logic.
comments.
Well, wait a second.
Non-attendee stuff. We don't need, what's this?
I guess we need a little bit, like, we need,
What do we want to do about people that write stuff to us? Do they have as much right to speak at a public comment through their writings as somebody that gets up and speak?
And have it
That's
written.
non-attendee comments that's addressed there.
Should we, are you good with that, though?
good with, now what's the question?
Are you good with, so Shane, you guys get these letters from people about a subject, they're not here. It's about how fast the cars are driving on Lake Street. And we're gonna have a discussion. And he gets 3 letters, I get a letter. Are these to be put into
If they,
reading?
I
if
haven't
they
been doing
request
that.
you're reading them for the record, then yeah, but
If they don't
if
request
they
it?
don't request it, I don't see there's any responsibility to bring it forward unless you feel that it is appropriate as a council person to support your position or.
Okay,
If that's what we're gonna do, it should be in here.
Remember, this is under public hearing too, section.
Can't that just be left to to the
I get it.
discretion of the person receiving the email?
Well, that's where I get, I
Unless-
want to.
unless there's a specific request.
We all get, it. I know I get email all the time. This is how I feel that this is, and this is Mary Jones. And, you know, this, I disagree. I can't be at the meeting, but this is where my position is. I get that all the time.
so do we include those in this?
So I haven't been at all. I haven't even, I've taken it the way it is, and I've taken it as giving me feedback. and I choose to
As
share
you
it
weigh
or,
your
and
decisions.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and I share it as I want to share it.
All right.
Is that not right?
I think that's the responsibility of the elected.
I think unless the person sends it and says, I want this, like Charlie said, read at the meeting or included in the discussion.
Then
But
that
is
should be
something-
honored.
But,
That should
but
be
is
honored.
that something that should be read in, just
If-
because they asked
If,
for it?
if they ask for it, I can't be at the meeting and I'd like you to represent this point of view.
Yeah, but if that's the criteria, I think it should be in here.
I
Because
agree.
otherwise, someone would not know that in order to have it, some of them might say, well, how come
Okay.
the comment I gave to you is being read and the one I gave
Alright.
to Joe isn't?
So if requested, the email slash letter slash written comments will be included if requested by the
And where will
author.
it be included? So if we get something, so I know what I have done at times. Well, I got a comment from so-and-so and I paraphrase her view, or there, it's usually her, but it's her view. And I'm kind of summarizing it, not literally reading it. Are you saying that what we need to do if someone requested? We need
Yes.
to read precisely what the email says?
Yes,
Okay.
Or you could just say, let's just talk about this. You could say, written comments submitted will be included in the record at the request of, rather than saying they will be read. They'll may be made a part of the record.
Oh, they do that in Congress all the time. The letters received are part of the record, but they don't.
they're
read
part
it.
of the record, but not read unless requested.
Written
You
comments.
could be reading letters all night
Yeah.
long.
I don't want to be reading or emails.
Right.
I can tell you, I'm feeling like I'm getting more and more emails to read in my personal email and my business.
The city council, Mr. Noctra.
It's accelerating.
Have to bring a sleeping bag to city council meetings.
People are putting your name out there, Joe, all over the place.
That's the problem.
How about,
Three stalls.
That's for the stalls.
oh dear,
Call Joe. They have a comment called Joe.
written comments submitted to city council will be included in the record upon request.
I don't even think if they're not gonna come to the meeting,
You don't want this.
Well, that's,
I don't think we should be required to read it, but.
No, I didn't say read.
The record.
If
Handing it to the
requested.
clerk. It's on
What is your
record.
definition of on the record? In the
Handing it to the
minutes?
clerk.
Right, but in the
That-
minutes, or is
that-
it just a copy that goes in the file with the packet that's held forever?
I think it should go in the packet
Yes.
because.
Well, then you guys have to remember to forward all
it
to
should go
them,
in the-
copy paste.
You gotta forward.
It's at the discretion of the council person.
No.
We're
I
the
like
elected
that.
official.
I like that.
If they don't like it, they can vote us out.
Yeah, that too. Doing the best you can here.
Hang on, Joe.
You got,
Just
it's really important on things like this, to my mind, to have something clear that people understand and follow. So if you want to include this, it needs to be done in a way that's not in the discretion of somebody. If somebody submits written comments, they'll be included in the record if
They
it's
request it.
requested.
If they request it, yes. Then the.
If you want it
It's
in
in the
there.
record,
In the record is in the file.
is in the file.
I
It's
would-
not,
So
it's
would
not
that-
in the minutes. It's not written or read out loud.
Yeah.
It's put in a file somewhere.
But is
So
it in
why
our
even
packet?
put it in a
It's in our-
file if it's going in a file?
No, what do you mean the packet? Our
The
agenda
email,
packet?
the agenda packet that is open to the.
No,
public.
it wouldn't go in the agenda packet.
'Cause
So it
that's not
just goes
practice.
into Sarah's file somewhere.
That's right.
So we forward her.
The circular one right next to her desk.
Well, I want clarity on that. I want to respect people if they want something in, if we're saying. we
Got
can
20
do-
minutes and the show's over.
So
I'd like it to be -5 minutes from now. I told my wife we'd be done at 7:30 at the latest.
if you want this.
What started on time, if we would have started on.
Would have started on time, we'd be out of here by now. Listen, is that your wife honking the horn out there? Rubbing up the engine?
she's sitting at the dining room table, eating by herself.
My grandkids.
Please.
Burn. Beep, beep.
All right, where are we here?
All right,
I like the way Tina said it. It's gonna be included in the record if requested, whatever
there
that,
it is.
whatever that means.
If you want
Okay.
that in there.
Sure.
Great.
Well, I don't know.
Okay.
I'll
we
get
need
it.
to know-
We need
We need to know what that means.
Here's,
Is it going in the minutes?
And just so you know, again, the non-attendee comments that you guys are talking about, this is specific to the public hearing.
We're not
procedures.
putting it there.
No.
No.
We're
Right,
put-
so I guess I'm asking right now.
Could
that
be on a
they
specific,
say where it
it
needs to
could be
go.
on a specific agenda.
Right, so this particular comment is under the public hearing procedure section, so if we
Correct.
don't want it,
I,
we need to move it.
I got it. Okay, so we're gonna take, my understanding is we're taking that section out.
Public hearing procedures?
Non-attendee comments.
Under public hearing.
And then when you go back to page 11, and there's two paragraphs at the top. We're at meeting procedures, public participation. So right after the two paragraphs, you could just add this as a single sentence paragraph for wherever you think it works. Written comments submitted to city council will be included in the record upon request.
Written comments submitted to city council.
Will be included in the record upon request. And if we need to be more clear about what in the record means, we'll mean in putting it in the.
I do. Me.
So you're just
What
in
do
the
you-
file. That's what we're doing, in the file.
If that's what the council wants, I just have to get it.
Yeah,
for-
It's hard to
for
tr-
the file.
we gotta make sure we forward it to you. That's what we gotta remember to do.
I think, guys, we're drafting legal language here on the fly, which is never advisable, so,
Written.
let's think about,
I'm a little uncomfortable relying on us to be sure to comply, to remember to forward.
it's only if somebody requests it.
Yeah, you're not, we don't want all your emails.
No.
No, I know that. But if
Please.
someone does, I gotta remember that, how do you define what their request is? If they say,
You can ask.
Joe, I'm not gonna be here, but this is how I feel. Is that a request? Or does it have to be, Joe, I'm not gonna be here. I want you to represent this in typically it's part of your deliberations process.
Well, you could say to them, do you want this included in the record?
Okay, then we all have to say that.
Yes.
And is that something we all wanna
Everybody
do?
handwriting?
I don't think
It's
so.
up to you guys if you want.
I don't think so.
Well, we
That's
can-
why I'm saying we need to make sure it's consistent.
Do we
Okay.
want this in or do we not want this in?
I don't think we need to be, if someone
We
sends
haven't
us an email of any kind, we shouldn't be forced to do anything with it other than read it.
I think if it's a letter addressed to all of city council, dear city council, that is different than a dear Joe email.
Yeah, I think so
Dear
too.
Charlie email, or Lindsay, or me, or even to Shane. I think that's a different situation when somebody says, dear city council, addressed directly to city council, the body of city council.
And I have received those and they are always include the city manager.
And those should have a higher standard than the email that goes, dear Joe, I want cars to go faster past my house, or something like that. That is a recommendation to you personally about how he feels, because you're his representative. But when it comes to dear, to the body of city council, that should be handled differently.
And how should that be handled?
Upon request.
Written comments submitted to city council as a body will be included in the record upon request.
There you go.
Period. Yeah. All right. Moving right along.
Appointments.
Thank you.
I need chocolate.
Bring that chocolate.
Moving on. We only have 15 minutes.
Missed
We all
one thing,
dropped
guys,
that.
that
What
you're gonna
happened?
be
What'd you
happy.
miss? What'd you miss?
Oh, okay, sorry. Back to page 10, public participation. If you want to do this the way we've been doing it, then it needs to say something different under public participation. Because here it does not say there has to be a motion. Here it says,
Where are you at, Tina?
I'm
Page
sorry,
10.
page 10, last paragraph, public participation. It says, on agenda items, following the mayor's reading of the agenda item, the city manager's background report, and some city council discussion, the mayor will ask for public comment. So that's not the way it's been done. So if we want to do it the way we're doing it, we need to write this so it's following the way, either we're gonna do it this way, which does not follow a motion, or redraft it that it's gonna follow the making of a motion and support.
Charlie, what do you think?
Following the mayor's reading of the agenda item, the city manager's background report, and a motion. And a second.
Who's, do I go to the public prior to
Well,
that?
I'm reading it in the order in which it currently takes place and how this would be modified
Okay.
to accommodate. So it would say on the agenda items, following the reading of the agenda item, the city manager's background report, a motion and a second from council, then some city council discussion, and the mayor will ask for public comment. So the discussion will follow the motion in the second, and the public comment will follow that. That's the way it's been happening, and it seems pretty comfortable to me. Everybody gets a chance to speak, but there's a motion on the table. There's an action
So the
item.
only time there's a public comment is after a motion is made? Is that what you're suggesting?
That's,
Well, they have an opportunity to make public
On
comment
a-
generally.
On an item that is gonna have a motion that is set on the agenda for a second reading and possible adoption.
Correct,
That's how we've been doing it.
right.
On those that are first readings,
Then you don't have the motion in the second.
we don't have, but I still call on public after we have a discussion.
Right.
And I always call on public.
You
Is
do.
there
So
public
maybe
wish to?
Yeah,
And
maybe
I
this
like
gets
that.
divided into
I think
first and
that
second
works.
reading then.
Because
Because
you need
the way it's
you need
written,
the first reading for one thing.
the way
and
it's written
second
here is
reading-
the first reading. And the second reading just adds the motion and the second.
Because you're gonna get, you got two opportunities for public to speak on that issue. Two different meetings. If you feel we want motions, we want discussion prior to discussion and motion by the city council. Then we change it to the mayor will ask for public comment right off, as soon as I read the agenda item.
But that is the case with the first reading. So
Right.
what you're saying is, this is an accurate view of the first reading. If you want it to be different for the second reading, then it has to be articulated.
And for the second reading, what we're kind of saying, if we're gonna, there's not gonna be public comment on the agenda unless there's a motion.
Correct. Because they already had the opportunity of the first reading.
I would, if there was a second, if there was, you mean no motion?
If there was no motion to, if it's on the agenda and there's, and in the second reading, and there's no motion made, if we can't get support to make a motion, do you have public comment on the matter?
I don't know why, because it would mean that there is no support for council to support it, so therefore,
What's there to talk about?
Right.
and that's how it's happened in the past, we've just moved on to the next
Yeah.
item. But
What, Tina, you seem to be questioning your expression. Do you disagree with
He's
that?
composing.
I
Yeah.
kind of feel, I
multitasking.
kind of feel like people should still have have the ability, we've rejected it, the second reading. Public should still have a comment on that, because they have a comment on stuff that is not, even if there's discussion, we don't even have a motion, a first reading. If there's a discussion about how high you should be allowed to fly your kites in here, and it's just a discussion, we still allow the public to weigh in.
So the way it's written currently applies to both, with the exception that it doesn't mention a motion in a second, which you
Right.
stick in on the second reading as may be required or desired by council.
Yeah.
Somebody reading this would not think a motion was required for public comment to occur. And we did have that situation where there was a whole room full of people and we didn't end up having a motion,
No
remember?
support. Oh, I
And they
do.
were upset and then you let them talk. Do you remember this?
That's what I'm saying.
And that way it's written encompasses that.
All right, I'm getting this, just guidelines anyway.
No. How about this?
The vacancies.
Whoops, can I try something? Test drive something?
Right.
So if we leave it on agenda items, following the mayor's reading of the agenda item, the city manager's background report, and some city council discussion, the mayor will ask for public comment. After public comment is taken, the mayor will return to the city council for further discussion and possible action, but will not reopen the public comment. Where a motion is required, comma, public comment will follow the motion in a second. Does that fix it?
Right, the motion, the second, and then discussion by council. After the motion and the second, he calls on council first to discuss it, then he calls on public comment. I mean, that's just, I don't know what's right. That's the way it's been happening.
Does that fix it, or is everybody too brain dead? in order to-
Getting brain dead.
I
but
think that fixes
I
it.
think it fixes it. I'm moving on to council vacancies.
Wait, we need,
Yeah,
to
got
we
it.
need to clarify that.
So this, I don't know if this is right or not, but we could try it. So at the end of what's there right now,
Yep,
on page
yep.
10,
Mhm.
where a motion is required, public comment will follow the motion, a second, and discussion by council. It's a try.
That's,
Where a
I
motion
like
is
that. It
required.
seems logical.
Where motion is required, public comment will follow the
Motion,
motion.
a second, and
city council.
discussion by council, city council.
I think it's important that the city or the public hears our all individual comments about the motion too. And as we I like the order of that. That's logical.
The only question is if it's gonna make, if it's clear between the first part that exists and the second part, but we'll have to look at it when it comes through and
Okay.
we haven't been at this for as long.
Okay,
Yep.
vacancies.
Okay,
Wait a minute.
39, well, next, 39.
are we going to the next?
Almost done.
38.
Yeah.
Okay. See, question. Has this boards and
Wait, we're not
commission,
there yet.
oh, where are we now?
38.
38. Wait,
Hearing
what does
closing.
38 say?
Back to there. 38.
Oh, this is the one where at the conclusion of the receipt of comments from the public, you can't have either by expiration of the time limit. I think that's the same problem as limiting the time. Either by expiration of the time limit that had been set by the mayor or the presiding officer. I think that has to come out. At the conclusion, the receipt of comments from the public.
Following receipt of the report of
Mayor.
the city manager.
Where are you looking? I'm on page.
Here, all
You
that.
you delete either, from
Yeah.
the word either, all the way through, city council have been heard. It's,
Right, at the conclusion of the receipt of comments from the public, when all, oh yeah, that's it. At the
And-
conclusion of the receipt of comments from the public, or when all persons who wish to address city council have been heard. That's it.
That's when it's.
isn't that,
Close.
isn't that the same? At the conclusion of the receipt of.
No,
public-
because there's the time limit part there.
Yeah,
Or
rid of
when
that.
all persons who wish to address city council have been heard. Isn't that the end of the public comment?
Yeah. I agree.
The problem, that's not the problem.
So where's the problem?
Expiration of the time limit
What do you
set
want
by
to
the
say?
mayor.
No, we're
Hey,
deleting that.
Yeah.
Thought we deleted it.
That's
Yeah.
what- That's what.
At the conclusion of the receipt of comments from the public. The question is, where do you go from there? You want to go to or when persons,
All persons.
and I'm saying jump all the way to following receipt of this, report of the city manager. It's redundant to say.
Can I
or when
think for a
persons who
moment,
wish.
please?
Yeah.
Thank you. I agree. At the conclusion of the receipt of comments from the public and following receipt of a report.
Mhm.
All good?
Okay, now can we go to vacancy? Because we're on the last page.
Are you planning to be one?
No, no, I'm just saying.
He will be if he doesn't get out there for food. Vacancy.
So you can omit my first question within 30 days because that's prescribed
Number.
by the charter. Section 3.18 requires that 30 days, so you could skip that.
Skip that.
The green is Laura's, because the charter, she says here, the charter provides that the council will fill the vacancy by a majority vote. Limiting that to a person selected by the mayor is not in the charter.
Right.
So she wants this written differently.
I like the way she's written it.
No, I think that's what she wants to omit.
No, I think that's what she's adding, right?
Yeah, the mayor
Mm.
shall present the city council the name of an eligible voter.
Or is that the current one?
That is how it has always been.
That's how it is now.
Mayor has always presented a name to council. It has happened in the past that the person has been rejected by city council about 30-some years ago. And another name was brought up by the mayor and was taken.
So a point of just clarification,
just-
so if Charlie is gonna resign, can he nominate?
No.
So only the mayor. can-
I will-
Only the mayor can present it to
I
council.
will present the council. You vote no, then I have to present another one.
Okay.
But that's not what the charter says. That's what.
That's how it was handled by the city back.
I'm
with-
just telling you what
Look
she
at
said.
What does the count,
With
what
Lindsay's
does the
book.
charter say?
Any vacancy in the office of mayor or council member shall be filled within 30 days by a majority vote of the remaining council members. That's the relevant part. I can keep reading it. She's just saying that
The mayor presenting is not in the charter.
But who's got, but someone's gotta lead the charge.
I think what she's meaning is, well, I don't want to speak
Why
for.
did she put this, is this green what she's suggesting?
No,
The green is what's in there. She's just highlighting it to. bring it to
Gotcha.
our attention.
And what is
But
her
what's wrong with it if we
recommendation?
do it?
And what's her recommendation?
Follow the
for it?
chart.
Follow the chart.
Follow the
Says
language.
charter
And
simply.
that means just throw it up to the council to scratch through it. Which is not the precedence of how it's been.
But she says here, limiting that vote to a person selected by the mayor. The mayor's not selecting, he's presenting an idea. He's presenting a name,
He's presenting a name. He didn't select it.
which he's probably had lunch or dinner with them and vetted them to make sure they're legitimate, which is his main. But, you know, somebody has to, if somebody else has a recommendation, they should let the mayor know. And
it should just probably be changed to read something like within 30 days of a city council member vacancy as defined by the city charter. The council will fill the vacancy by a majority vote. That's what the charter says. That's all.
Then why don't we say it like that and put it in there?
Fine. I don't care either way.
I,
Personally, I've got no dogs.
sorry, wait,
But I-
Tina, are you saying that we shouldn't say the mayor is gonna present?
I
Right.
think that's what she is saying.
But from a practical standpoint, someone needs to lead the charge to find somebody. Or to be the kind of the,
saying that way that Tina has just said does not prohibit the mayor from presenting a name. It's just saying
Nor does it.
any name needs to have a majority vote. That's all it's saying.
And I think nor does it mean that another person couldn't bring forth a name. But again, I would.
well, that was a question I had. That's why I raised it. That's what I wanted to talk about. Could, I'm gonna resign, but I think so-and-so ought to be there, or I'm gonna resign and Charlie has someone in Ward 3 that he thinks would be good. Can he do that?
Well, I think our practice, John, you speak to this. I was in that situation and I was resigning and thought I had a good person, I would call John. That's usually what I would do.
Right,
Right.
yeah.
So I just think the way it's written is the problem. I don't think she would say it's not okay for the mayor to bring forth the name. I just think the way it's written doesn't seem to align with the way it's written in the
So
chart.
what do you want? What are you saying?
I just said, if it says within 30 days of a council member vacancy is defined by the city charter, the city council will fill the vacancy by a majority vote. and she might want more of this in there, but I think that's the problematical part. We can ask her to draft it in a way she thinks,
I think we're all trying to get to the same thing.
yeah,
Yeah, I think the big problem word here is the mayor shall.
Yeah.
as opposed
correct.
to the
That's what
mayor
I
will.
think the I don't think
Or
that's,
may.
I don't think that's it either. I think she wants it that the council will fill the vacancy by a majority vote.
Then why don't we just put that on?
Yeah, I think she's looking for mimicking the language
Yes.
in the charter.
Okay, then let's just do that. How Tina read it and ask Laura to say, does that satisfy her? It doesn't sound like we have any disagreement here. We're just wordsmithing at this point.
He was nominated, mayor.
Want to say something?
No, it has happened in the past. And there was it was in Lindsay's ward where somebody was left the position. The mayor nominated somebody. City
Appointed.
council voted against it. And this mayor came up with another name.
And what's wrong with that?
Nothing. I thought it worked well. But I don't care how you guys do it, because I don't see it happening in my next 2-year term, so
You never know.
I never know. Okay,
I think it just has to be written to comply with the charter. I think
okay.
that's.
Have it written to comply with the charter, Shane, okay? Now.
And there's
boards-
nothing that's gonna be said under there, under like mayor pro tem doesn't get like something special. That's where they just talk about if a replacement for mayor is selected among the city council members. The city council shall within 30 days appoint another voter from that ward to represent the ward, assuming that the mayor pro tem or somebody else on council is just filling that vacancy.
Till the next election,
Got it. Yep.
okay. Boards and commissions.
Yeah.
Charter identifies pieces that I have always brought forward for the last 10 years. If I made an appointment, even if it's for the library, which I have full authority to appoint and do not require approval, I have always brought it forward to city council and asked for your approval because I felt I was trying to work with you guys, okay? I didn't have to, but I always did that because I wanted us to feel like we're a team. By charter, I don't have it.
I do.
Someone
It-
brought it.
It says section 4.3, the mayor shall appoint the members of all commissions and committees. That was my note here, like why there's all this mishigash, I don't know.
I don't
You could just put, the mayor shall appoint the members of all commissions and committees and with the council approval or something like that is what we've been doing all
Yeah.
along. And the other problem here is
But
there's,
see, the other one, there are ones that I can appoint and not
Right.
have approval for though.
Right.
it doesn't say anything about council approval in here at all that I saw. That's why I say that's just been the practice. If you look at.
No, in the charter, it does state that there are boards that have to have approval appointed by the mayor with approval.
Yeah, you have it.
There are some that are just, I may appoint.
Appointed only as DDA, DMB, and library.
I don't see that, because here's 4.3, the mayor shall appoint the members of all commissions and committees. That's what it says.
Bam, done.
The mayor shall appoint the members of all commissions and committees.
That's a lot of power.
That's,
I thought I have a different stuff than what you have for your charter. I don't know, maybe.
Oh.
What about boards of city review, building authority?
Yeah,
Same-
there's a
not-
lot
not-
that have
Yeah,
been dissolved.
We can clean that up.
This needs to be cleaned up. This is
We
not.
won't even list them and just
Don't list them, yeah.
generically.
is there something else in the charter that I missed about appointing?
The charter
Oh,
I have a sheet from the charter and it said, these are the ones the mayor appoints. And these are the ones the mayor appoints with approval.
Nominates. Appoints and nominates.
I think we need to.
We can get that
clarified.
clarified with
Okay.
legal.
You also have to add the compensation
Commission,
and the arts commission.
Public Arts Commission.
Thing, do
But
we
that's
want
the
to start
thing.
naming them?
Right. Do we want to name them? 'Cause a lot of them have dissolved.
Just not,
Oh, that's.
Just
a
say
good point.
generally.
Yeah, why do we even need to list them?
we don't.
Yeah, if the charter is vague, use the charter language.
I don't think it's vague, but
No, it's not vague. It's not vague, but it is a
The
kind
question is, where do you want to put the Arts Commission and the compensation? Do you want?
There's election commission, compensation commission, historic district committee, art
of
commission.
list them at all. Why do we need to?
All right.
But the question remaining is, you seem to think somewhere there's something where city council approvals.
Needs
required as well. And
Just need to find out
That
where
is.
that is.
Yeah,
Well, I'll have Laura look at it.
Yeah,
I don't
Okay.
know where that is.
so. Let me see.
I think we're done.
All right. Doesn't say city council comments. And so at 8:03, I call this meeting adjourned. Did you do public comment already? There is no public comment.
Yeah, there is.
Beginning.
We did that earlier, didn't we?
Oh, did we?
Anybody wish, just open the public comment. Does anybody wish to speak public at this point?
Is there anybody there?
Is there anybody there?
Nope.
There being no further business come for this council, I call